Is that working? Alright, hopefully this is working. Sorry for the technical difficulties, guys. Yeah, hopefully we're back in action and working properly. Thank you for your patience while we sorted out the technical difficulties there. Yeah. So, I've got something special today. I've got the Buildable Disney characters, Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse here. And, yeah. I've just opened it up. Got the first two bags in front of me. The instruction booklets are gorgeous. And hello, Liam. How are you doing there? I hope this is working properly and everybody can see me. And thank you for those who are coming back after that slight technical hiccup there. Hello, Ruby. Hello, Douglas. How y'all doing? So we start here with Mickey. See, these instruction manuals, they're a thing of beauty. I love this. I love this. Check that out. Yeah, a little bit of Steamboat Willie there. The 1928 cartoon that Mickey's first story's debuting. Voiced by Walt Disney in that one, he was. But somebody else got to say Mickey's first words. He didn't get to speak till almost a year later, I think it was. Okay, so here we go. Opening it all up. Do you know what pieces you can use for the Minnie? I'm not... Thank you, Andrea. Thank you. I was a little worried about technical issues to begin with, but ironing them out. I don't know. I'm just going to throw this stuff over there. Yeah. It'll come back later, right? Or not. I don't know. And stickers. I loathe the stickers. Yeah, they are not going on anything. I mean, a set that retails for $280 in stores. Print the parts. Come on, guys. Print the parts. Alright, this has clearly worked a lot better because obviously everybody's found me here, even though it took about 5 minutes worth of technical hiccup stuff. Alright, let's open up the first bags that we have here. I'm going to put my instruction manual off to the side. And yeah, how is everyone on this sun? Here in Melbourne it's wet. It's wet. Yesterday was our wettest single day in August for 20 years. It's not like any of us here in Melbourne can go outside anyway. Throwing that one over there too. Alright. Men in Black. Oh, the neuralizer. I didn't get around to No, I did do a little building this week. The neuralizer from Men in Black didn't end up making the list. A few things did though, like the little cat sculpture that's kind of look here in view. I don't know if Mario can be seen behind me here. I think he can. Yeah, those are the things I've been building. Projects I've kind of had sitting gathering dust on the shelves over there for a while. So, and yes, brick separator. This one's in teal again. Many of them this year have been in teal. Alrighty, so a couple of Technic pins to start us off. Interesting. So the instructions are printed on black paper, which makes highlighting a black Technic pin tricky. And this will be interesting, especially once you get into it. Mickey and Minnie aren't exactly known for their colours other than black, so I'm guessing that, I don't know, I'm curious to see how the instructions fare when you get a little deeper into them. So, oh, I have a second bag. I should have opened up 2 bags for bag 1. And so without those, I'm not getting very far. Alright, over you go. Man, that corner's gecko is so messy. Like, there are so many bags. I think it's 9 bags total in this set. What was it? It's 107. 1,739 pieces. Yes, yes. I have a fat sheet next to me. Like preparation, right? Yeah, it's not something I usually do. It's I don't know. Batman does it. I should be more like Batman. Getting in touch with my inner Batman. I presume right now this is the beginning of the base. So, just kind of having fun, exploring here. Interesting. So they've chosen not to connect those with further Technic pins. Probably not necessary at this point. There might be something connecting in later. I don't know. Otherwise the orange should show. Hello DC Bricks. How are you doing on this, I don't know where in the world you are. Here, it's a cold winter day. I need like a seat warmer or something. That'd be cool. Why am I looking at one of those long orange things? I bet it's right here in front of me, right? I could combine my other Technic part. But I need my other... There you are. Alrighty, let's get into this. Ooh-ee doos. Alrighty. Not quite sure what this will end up looking like. Sydney, yeah? How's the weather in Sydney today? I'm guessing it's better than ours. You guys are allowed outside. Lucky duckies. I miss going outside. I'd like to go to the park. Does that count? So yeah. Just putting a few things together. I don't know, last week I tried doing a little live building. We didn't get very far through it. Yeah, you find yourself chatting, you don't do enough building. I mean, it's not that big a set. It's only like it's under 2,000 parts. Shouldn't take that long. It did. You know? So, alright. I guess one for the back. Oh no, this one has slight changes. I better make sure that is in the right spot. So far, not a lot going on with the parts that's worth mentioning. These new trans windows though, I'm not sure we've had this colour before. I think that's the right height for the 7 degrees. That sounds like warm, actually. Speaking as a Melbourneite right now. Yeah, warmer than what we've been getting. You lucky guys. Like, yeah. The missus has occasionally had to go to work as an essential worker for what she does, but she can do much of it at home because they're doing reduced numbers. And so last Friday she left the house and like, I think it was freezing outside, like literally, like it was 3 degrees outside when she left the house, which is when water freezes. So, and I think there's another orange one hiding somewhere. I haven't, I'll have to find that in a second. But there's a bit more that goes here on the bottom to give us our base and our stand. The base and the stand is probably a boring thing. I don't know. I probably should have pre-built a bit, hey? Let's see what happens. Maybe I'll pre-build next time. Probably will be next time. I don't know. Like, how are you guys enjoying it? Give me some feedback here. I really don't know what I'm doing, which is probably par for the course for most of my life. I'll admit it. And so yeah, you know, I'll welcome any feedback. What do you guys want to see? What entertains you? What's, you know, and I've positioned that wrong. You go there, you go there, and you go there. Alright, now we flip over, and we do a few things inside. See, I need to practice my radio announcer patter. I think that's a thing that is expected, right? Would you rather never know what Lego is or can't hear things? See, you're asking the wrong guy, dude. I'm deaf in, well, actually this ear. Because of something that happened when I was younger. And, yeah. Like, mid-range deafness. It sucks. There's that constant ringing in the ear and other stuff that goes with it. So I'm already halfway there. So I guess if it's a trade-off, it turns out it's a bit of a 50-50. I'd never have enough Lego. But I do at least get some. See, now I do need that missing part. Where are you? Hidden under something. Yep, there. See? I'm just about to rattling. Alright, there we go. So you go there. You go there. And you go there. Yeah, cheers. Check out. Our base is taking shape. Alright, I've got some fun Disney facts. I don't know. Actually, I was going to throw this out to you guys. What are your favourite Disney facts? Like, what do you like about Disney? And try to keep it positive because, you know, it can probably get a little dark. But yeah, fun Disney facts about Mickey and Minnie. I don't know. Like, Mickey debuted in 1928. The very first ever cartoon character to grace our screens, I believe. Was originally going to be called Mortimer Mouse. But his wife talked him out of that. Walt Disney's wife, this is. And he got named Mickey on screen. His nemesis, or occasional nemesis, Mortimer, got the name though. And yeah, I've done a few mech builds, so I'm not paying enough attention. LDK Creations. Bit obsessed with mechs, I believe. I don't know, that's okay. If you want to be, you know, I'm not going to take anything away from mechs, but I've got enough of them floating around the house right now. Quite a few, in fact. And I probably shouldn't be putting the glass in those things yet. Let's try and stick to the pattern that we should be doing. I don't know. It's hard. Good old ADD, right? Easily distracted. I don't know. Honestly, I don't even usually build with instructions. I usually just put the box up and treat it as a jigsaw puzzle. It's more fun that way. I don't know if that means I get it completely correct, but you know, it's definitely more fun. So, alrighty. Here we go. All these little teal bricks. I don't know. I know why these parts go into sets. Like, it keeps them in the colour palette. But I don't know who wants them in sets. That's a thing. See, this is what I mean, Liam. This could very quickly turn into, like Disney does. They have a lot of codes for what happens at their parks. And yes, I definitely have heard the Treasured Guest one. And certainly the other one is the people who play the actors are referred to as friends of said character. Never the actual actor themselves, because it's the magic. It's about preserving the magic, and I like that. So, I don't know. Well, okay, I do have some Disney facts here, because a few people are talking about that. Did you know his middle name is Theodore? Though he does usually introduce himself as Mickey Mouse. He got his first speaking line in the 1929 feature, was Crazy Carnival, which was, it was not voiced by Walt. Walt is very proudly voiced most of Mickey's lines, or as much as he could. He did eventually have to stop, and while there's no exact reasons or not official reasons for it, it's suspected that that's got to do with the fact that Walt Disney got cancer. But yeah, I've got some cute little bits there. I don't know, I've got to swap between the two. I can't even remember the exact details. But I did try. It'd be great to have a second hand to bounce off in this kind of situation, you know? That way I could be moving my hands and doing the stuff, and I'm doing them both at once, and I just... See, this is the thing. Just put stuff together wrong, because I'm trying to do too many things at once. Because, you know, I never do that. I like this. You do get a little bit of give in a lot of pieces, Lego pieces. And I'm looking for another Technic pin. I'll show what I mean in just a moment. There are the Technic pins. And that is on backwards. So you get a lot of give. This step, you put on those little 1x2 with Technic holes there over one another. which means that with just a little bit of a twist, you get that angle. But it's not like there's still a little bit more give. You could probably shift it a little bit more, but I really love how that's been used to just angle the front, and I'm not sure how well that's showing through there, but you get that little angle there, and super secure, or will be once it's in place here. So here we go. Yeah, see, angles back a little further. And that's what that little part there was. It'll help us keep properly in place as we put this in. Sliding it down, making sure it fits properly. Trying to be careful here. Might not work for me. No, smoking is not a voice actor's friend. But I mean, it was an ancient time. They all kind of did back then. It's a social norm. Hang on. Let's try. Alright, so this is a little bit of a fidgety step. Just making sure it's all, because everything's going to be built on top of this, so you've got to make sure that your base is secure and strong. Otherwise, you know, it becomes immediately obvious. Alright, keep that around that way. Alrighty. Here we have lots of little coming together nicely here. I really like one of those things you always have once you start to angle plates is those little gaps, and they can be unsightly. They can be, not always. So I really like how this has been done underneath. It really does cover that well as can be anyway. I'm not sure a cleaner solution would exist. And I've just done that backwards. I've totally done that backwards. Probably what brick separators are for. Should have. And poor Minnie. Minnie went without a voice for, I think it was 20 years. Maybe about to go without a voice again. This most recent actress to voice Minnie passed away last year, and no official announcement has been made as to her replacement yet. I don't know, I guess if you can do a good falsetto, that probably means there is the chance for you to step in and show what you can do. Bit dark maybe, but it's one of everybody's favourite characters, right? I say one of everybody's favourite characters, but amongst things I kind of looked up, or the facts I found, she was apparently one of the less popular of the famous five. Her, Goofy, Mickey, Donald, etc. And so it led to her not getting as much screen time and as features devoted to her for a significant portion of time. And they did go to great lengths to make sure she was connected to the rest of the cast. Mortimer is apparently her uncle. She has a niece, two nieces. The only one of the big five to have nieces or nephews, the other one being Donald. And the connection with Mortimer is a little weird. I'm not sure if Mortimer appears in many of the current cartoons around her, or hasn't for, since way back when. But yes, it does get a little strange when you realise how many of those original plots were about her connection, love, him being infatuated with her, really. So, I don't know. Different time. Very different time. This was all pre-1940. And for instance, during that time period, Walt Disney felt the need to make it official that Mickey and Minnie were privately married, despite the fact they have never shared a house together. But he made that statement in 1933. Alright. And then I need to build that again for the other side. I probably should have double built. I don't know, reverse built. No, actually, it's the same backwards and forwards. Yeah, that's the name, isn't it? The cast members. One of those words they use behind the scenes. Did I just put that together? I feel like I'm missing a bit there. That doesn't feel long enough. Have I put something together wrong? That's because I used a 1x8 rather than the 1x6, which I should have been using. Hi, welcome to the stream where Kale builds wrong. Yeah. People, you've all seen that before. I'll own my mistakes. So many of them go on too. So many. Yeah, see, that's the thing, Douglas. Back then, a unmarried couple would have been controversial. So, and yet, you know, nice, fun cartoons about romance work better than for that kind of format than what we do have. So, alrighty, let's see how we go here. Am I meant to be doing two of these? This does look like I'm meant to be doing two of these, so this time I will reverse build. I do love these new snot bricks. So 1x1, but 5 plate high, so that they can, oh well, and 2 snots on the sides. There's a few of them in my little cat buddy over here. I don't know if Mario uses many of them. He uses a couple of the 2 wide ones, 1x2, because, well, there's a lot of snot going on in Mario back there. And that is such a weird word to say out loud, isn't it? Alrighty, now we get to put in windows into frames. A lot. I do like the colour of these. It's an interesting kind of oily. And if you've ever handled old cellulose film or different kinds of film, yeah, it definitely has that kind of look to it up close. I don't know how well that's coming through on the camera there. Guess we'll find out. You guys will tell me, right? Ooh, and this is kind of what we're meant to end up with, the pair of these, bit by bit. You can see them coming together there. Yeah, looking good. I should say a quick shout out to Lego, who did kindly provide this set. I absolutely should have done the review and stuff with it as activities a little earlier. I'm sorry, I feel guilty about that. I feel guilty about so much in general. It's life, my life. But yes, thank you, Lego, for providing the set so that we can kind of have some fun with it and do some stuff. And I will do a proper review and probably a little bit more with it. I'm not quite sure what yet. I'll try get it out and give it a bit more of a, I don't know, some photography out in the wild. The TV show Community, one of my faves. But I've just binge watched that while we're here in lockdown. Introduced it to my son, who loves it too. So we've gone through the whole run of it, and yeah. How good is that, eh? How good is it? Interesting. Did I miss something? Oh yeah, of course. Feet. I didn't put the feet on. I should have done that. That totally makes sense. Silly me. Which does leave some interesting... Okay. So seal them up on top. Now, and the reason that most sets have such bright colours as teal, apart from keeping them in the colour palette, is once you pile down a big pile of bricks, it becomes a little easier to separate your colours if you've got a wider variety of colours, or parts. Separate your parts, just visually, if you've got a wider variety of colour. So that's one of the reasons there, which makes sense, but the flip side of this is that right now, depending upon the surface I put that on, like if I put it on a white surface, you're definitely going to get that balanced light quality out of those brighter teal colours. And seen from the wrong angle, you're absolutely going to see those teal parts there as well, and then probably the red. I'm less concerned about the white, that would blend in on most surfaces. But that does mean I'm probably going to swap the colour of those parts over, because this is one of those sets that I'm definitely keeping and putting up in the house somewhere. Just got to find room for it, and that's going to be tricky in and of itself. I am very curious how they do this, and that's really what I'm here for. There are new parts in the set, of course. These new little Technic tubes. I'm excited to kind of see what can be done with them. We also get... cool. I haven't looked through the parts we do get. Maybe I should have, but I like to be surprised. And here are the new 1x2 with snot studs on all sides, 5 plates high. We found a lot of these in the Mario sets that have been recently released. The Mario sets are a little more expensive. I don't know if they're necessarily worth the bang for the buck. But the poly bags, the $5 Build-A-Figure ones that will be like the counter bags, the blind bags. I don't know, there's probably a special word for them. If somebody wants to put that in chat, that would be helpful. But the blind bags are actually pretty decent value. Unlike the minifigure bags we've had previously, which have a cool minifigure, but they don't have a lot of other parts in them, on average. Each of our little Mario figures not only contains these awesome little parts, printed parts, some of those new little base parts, the 4x4 new base part that we get in many of the Mario sets, and on average about 20 to 30 parts. I think from my count, the lowest I had was 15, and the best I think I had was 24, from the ones I've opened so far. Now that is including the spare parts that you generally get with most sets like that. That's not bad, considering the variety of parts that we get in those blind bags, and that they are just simply hard to come by any other means. So yeah. I may not be getting many of the other Mario sets. I do have something planned to kind of maybe do like this. I'll keep that under my hat for now. But I'm definitely going out as soon as I can and getting more of the blind bags, because they are gorgeous. The bar is gorgeous. Yeah. I feel like I'm babbling. Ooh, check this out. So, 2x4 brick with Technic holes through it. I'm not sure we've seen that before. Might be a reissue of a very old part. I'm not prepared to make promises on that, but yeah, loving that. Ooh. And goes on here like this. I'm guessing this is going to be a shoe in a minute. Like that's going to be right? I guess we'll find out together. And here we go. Definitely starting to look like a shoe. Never done wrong. Yep, here we go. Yeah. And some lovely large curved parts. Here we go. Should there be? Yep, there should be. Did look like there was something missing. And we have a foot taking shape. We finally got some structure and something happening here that looks like a something. How do I get free Lego? For a lot of hard work and perseverance. That's the answer for that one there. I don't know. I do occasionally get free sets, which is cool. And I don't know how much I probably should say or not. But what I will say is that part of being lucky enough to get the occasional free set means that I definitely want to find a way to give them away somehow. I'm just not quite sure what that should look like. But keep an eye out for that, because I will make something happen sometime soon and give you guys an opportunity to share. May have been built once. That is a very definite possibility. I mean, you know, that's kind of what we're doing here. So, interesting. So they've used the 2x2 with corner cutout part here on the edge. This goes over the top. There's no stud on the very top there, on the top edge, which makes for an interesting kind of approach. The alternative, of course, would have been to use extra parts there, so probably best that. It is very secure. And it's nice, and again, it's just great to see more of these parts out in the wild. Being quite a new part. I bet I was meant to build 2 of these. I totally skipped the part where I was meant to build 2, right? I don't know, or is the other foot different? I think the other foot's different. Can't see the box at the moment, the box art. So, probably should have kept that there somewhere. And these little parts, I think they have been in other sets. I think these were in the Cars sets way back when. I'm not 100% sure. But 2 of those in the set. Yeah. New parts. I get excited about new parts. Who else gets excited about new parts? I can't be the only one, surely. You jest, I assume, Douglas, with talking about getting multiple sets at a cheaper price and moving the others on. I've got quite a large Lego collection, and having a Bricklink store is one of the ways that I did help with that. Because there's always going to be parts that you want and you need, and parts you need less. So yeah, honestly, if acquiring a large quantity of Lego, if you've got the extra time to make it work, having a Bricklink store and making them available for other AFOLs is definitely one of the ways you can grow a collection, definitely. Have I put that on? Nope, I totally have. There we go. So, here we have the new tubey connecty parts. They connect very squarely. So you get a few different little possibilities of the shape. Only a 45-degree curve there. Well, it isn't. 45-degree curve's huge, right? Put you down there. Yeah. Awesome. And that is starting to look really gorgeous. Check that out. Yeah, we have the beginnings of a Mickey. And I love the idea of the upturned barrel being used as his pant leg here. Where are we? I've got bits to go through his back. I'm just making sure they are the right bits. Interesting. So you slide underneath. Eek. Alright, and just make sure I've got the right number of... yep, line you all up. Alright. Give you a bit of pressure to make sure you're all clicking. And watch that go in. Here we have a leg. And ingenious the way they've connected that. I love it. And that goes up on our little spot here. Just trying to make sure I've got it in position right. Ah, and so stable too. Such a great connection there. Yeah, loving that, loving it. Let's keep on with the building here. Let's do a little quicker, hey? Building happen. See, I totally should have first built the shoes. I think this is the same pattern No, there are a few little minor differences starting to turn up here. A different approach to the second shoe here. Alrighty. Okay. Creates an interesting gap there. Wondering why. Probably let it wriggle a little. Talking too much, right? Not building enough. 1,700 parts to get through here. That's a lot. I should build quicker. Alright. honestly, I don't know if they are similar to the submarine bits from way back. They look new to me. That's in the middle of my dark age, so I don't think I ever would have had hands on them. So, alright, what am I missing? Yeah, of course, the sides. And this time a slightly different approach to the sides. Very similar. There was a little extra effort taken to hide the gap that appeared on that one. That's not here on this side in the same way. Make sure that's up the right way. Buildles. There we go. And this time we get a big long tube. And this is interesting. The if you've ever connected a big long tube of Technic 2x2 rounds, they're very hard to put a Technic bar down. It's not something you really want to do too quickly. Interesting the angle there and the choice of the smooth side first. So, but this is exactly what it gets to do. But it does the instructions for, and again, if you've ever done this, you probably know why. It says, put them together first. Little itty bitty bits. So, do that 4 times. I've done that. Well, looks like it's just until I run out of them, which is good design there. Cool. And just double check that all goes together. I feel like I've got too much length going on here. I've missed something. Yep. Oh, of course, we've had the technic holes way down below, so I can, and that's why we get that extra spin out of this foot. So here we go. Twists gives me the there. We have his feet and his legs. Liam, I don't know. You are asking the hard questions today. Any tips on how to make money in COVID life? I don't know. Is anybody really having a great time of it currently? I think I speak for all of us. It's a bit of an exhausting and difficult time. And it's okay, I guess. We're all living in a slow-moving apocalypse in many ways. It'd be a bit strange if we were all enjoying it. So, a bit more building here. Make this happen. Am I about to push a technique right through here? Yes, I am. I've set it up. This is a core of something. Looking like something. I don't know. I guess we'll find out in a few moments. A lot of snot bricks being involved in this way. I think for those who've heard me talk about building and stuff previously, I've talked a little bit about separating the importance of the internal structure and frame versus the aesthetics and the casing that you put around the frame. So right here, this is the internal core with all the attachment points we need to do whatever we're going to end up choosing to put on in a moment. And yes, the new 1x1 snot bricks with studs on 2 sides, we're seeing appear in so many things. This makes life so much easier in so many ways. I'm loving seeing all these extra snot bricks turn up in so many sets. Alrighty. And hello, the Crossy Film. How you doing, mate? I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I hope you are too. Bring the torso section together here. become a problem in a moment if I don't, because those parts... There we go. Easy peasy, not many parts left anyway. I think that's going to be his neck. Interesting choice for the neck. I don't know. I think this is the first time we've had the barrel in black. I'm not sure I want to be quoted on that. Wouldn't be the first time I've made a mistake on that kind of thing. But feels like it. And I'm wondering if I should replace these, or are we going to tile them later? Because I'd like these to be tiled rather than studded. But I've definitely grown a more appreciation for the idea of leaving exposed studs. I think that's important on a build. I used to be very anti-stud, certainly for a very long time. And, that's backwards. Okay, make sure that comes properly there. Right, there you go. Getting some interesting angling there. There is just enough flex there to make sure that, see? So very secure, and takes advantage of that little bit of flex that you get through the figure and the base there. We've got the frame, which will start to look pretty in a moment. The core should never look pretty. It does help if it's funny colours. I tend to go for a single colour for any of the cores on any of my builds. And also I do try to make sure that they are not necessarily bright colours, because you never know when there's going to be cracks or segments that might allow it to show through. I don't exactly want it showing through. I was meant to use these somewhere. Where was I meant to use you? Oh yeah, you go under that to hide that gap. Yes. See? And that's what was getting me thinking about that, because we've got these white bricks. From the wrong angle, you are absolutely going to see the core bricks that make up this underframe. You'll absolutely see, for instance, from the wrong angle, that little yellow Technic stud. Where was I meant to put you? Have I not put you in the right spot yet? There's only so many places you can go. No. This is meant to go in here though. For later. How am I even meant to push it down far enough? It's going to be tricky. I'm just going to assume that the pressure from the later part will be enough. And I should not have a leftover part. I've done something wrong. I've totally done something wrong, haven't I? Oh, you want me to go there? Yep, okay, let's make that happen. Let's make that happen. The Batman used black or pearl barrels? I don't think so. I'm not 100% sure on that one. I've built the UCS Batmobile, the 89 Batmobile that we just got released, and I was lucky enough to get the VIP gift that came with that, the gift with purchase that was available, and so basically the smaller version of it, which is just gorgeous. It is such a gorgeous set, that one. And just make sure that clicks right, there we go. But that one used them in the dark grey, which I think we've seen in a few sets now, actually, the dark grey. So we'll leave that there while I find bag 3. I hope there's only one bag to bag 3. I'm about to find out. Some of the numbered bags, there are multiple bags for that step. As a quality of life thing, seeing these obviously have to be printed. I'd love to start seeing them print them as maybe 3A and 3B, so that you know when you encounter that during the course of a build. For the larger builds, it's one of those things that does come up occasionally, because certain larger UCS style sets have been released with numbers on the bags and 3,000 parts. So, yes, I get that there is definitely certain people, possibly myself included, who find that idea of a big, large puzzle a fun idea. For the casual builder, I think it's probably one of those quality slice of life things that I'd like to see the set. Only one part, it's gone bouncing. Alright. And that's everything from that bag. You go over there. And you come back. Cool. We have our parts and we're ready to keep building. We get more of the tube parts in this set. I'm not quite sure how many we get total. There does seem to be the parts list here on the back. So I'll have another one of the black barrels in a moment, but the little new connectory... Ah, yeah. So we get 10 of these in this set, which is awesome. So, and I don't think there's anywhere else you can find them yet. Experimentation on Lego. What kind of experimentation would you like to see, Liam? Like, what would you want to stress test it for? I don't know. Well, that might be jumping the gun. That might be putting words in your mouth. What would you like to see tested? I totally do have the mini plate on this one. I'll fix that in a moment, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. So Minnie, her name has, I believe, always been Minnie. Her full name is Minerva Mouse. So, yeah, I feel like I should probably unwrap that. I'll get there. It's a big plate. Let's see if I can just pop it. Trying to be careful. Yeah. Last thing I want at this point is Lego just splintering and shattering and flying across the room. I mean, it's a mess over there. I've been building this week, and I always make a mess when I build. I don't know, what about you guys? You guys clean when you build? Make a mess? I don't know, how does it go for you? That's what I mean! Oh, there's something over there that I'm going to have to go find. I'm just going to take a moment here. Yeah. Alright, I'm just going to see what parts, because I'm going to need them, right? I think these are the parts that went flying. I might have to find replacements in a moment. We'll see. Fire and water. Yeah? Fire and water. No, I don't have, asking about my Bricklink. I don't have a Bricklink store anymore. I haven't for a very long time. And certainly once, you know, because I do occasionally get send free sets, it would be inappropriate of me to have one, I guess. Besides, I want to use the Lego for me, right? That kind of method only works if you actually intend to share or have parts you don't need, and I need them all. Fire and water. So Lego doesn't cope that well with fire. It loves water. Water is no trouble for it. It's not soluble. It will deform in boiled water pretty quickly, actually. You only need about 40 degrees. So in a cup of tea it'll do it. Which is handy. That is actually advantageous depending upon what you want to do with the Lego. So for instance, you can do it with the Technic bar, but that's probably not going to be great. But Flex Tube, for instance. Flex Tube can be used for all kinds of amazing things, and if you want it to hold its shape, yeah, absolutely. Drop it in some boiling water while holding it in the shape. Again, not too hot. Make sure it's the kind of water you can put your own hands in. But, yeah, hot enough. And if you hold it in place and then take it out, let it cool, it's going to reform. And it'll hold that shape, well, better. Not perfectly, but better. And see, bits went flying. I'm now looking for a 1x2 cheese slope. And I'm wondering if that's... Nope, found it. That's going to happen again. That's totes going to happen again. I know it. Interesting. Okay. Where are we going with this section? I love these new little 2x2 parts with the perfectly centered and perfectly heighted bracket. 1 plate wide. And again, they've been turning up in so many beautiful sets this year. It's, I think we first saw it in the corner garage. Definitely on my log bulk. And look, honestly, again, coming back to the idea of ways to get cheap Lego. Well, there is something that I'm not going to name, but if you're not a member of your local Lego users group, if you don't know what that is, you will likely have one near you. A registered lug is one of the things that will help you acquire extra Lego, basically, for whatever you want to build it with. So, join up with your local Lego group. They will have ways. They will have special ways. And have a chat with them. And see what you can... well, yeah. They have the magic ways. I just want to make sure that I get this to the right height. Because there are a few snot pricks here. It would probably be very easy to overshoot, I suspect. There we go. That's going to be the right height. Yep, that looks flush. Beautiful way that they've done the front of his shorts there. Yeah, check that out. Check that out. Gorgeous, isn't it? I've never microwaved Lego. I imagine, though, that it wouldn't have as much effect as you might think. Microwaves acting on water molecules. Maybe? I guess it'd probably just end up the same way that, like, a Tupperware bowl does when you put it in there. It is ABS plastic. Generally. Certain parts are made out of slightly different plastics. I don't know. That's one for the chemists out there, right? Probably could heat it and deform it that way. Deforms a lot easier than you might expect. So, and this is... Oh, this will be the... wonder how this... Yeah. I guess we find out in a moment how all of this connects. There's a certain brilliance coming together here, though, that I'm quite liking. All this talking, though, making me thirsty. These pretzels are making me thirsty. There's no pretzels. I'm sorry. No pretzels for you. Family building comms. No. The little one, he does... I've got a 7-year-old, I've got an old kid as well. The partner has a bit of a... She's not an AFOL. She comes along to all the events and stuff with me that I do. But it's begrudgingly. She's getting into it more as the years have gone on. And does enjoy it somewhat, but... So, was I meant to... I was meant to do that twice. Of course I was. Right. What were you? Yeah. You were... Yeah. Silly Billy. Alright, let's fix that up. I feel like I should just turn the page back and do it properly. I don't know. We'll be copying out. Treat it as puzzle, right? Yeah. My little one, his school keeps on trying to get him to do Lego building comps. And he keeps saying no, simply. He doesn't want to. So, which is okay. I'm not going to make him. I mean, he's obviously got a bit of an advantage. And I suspect maybe that part of the reason they are having the building comps is because I did an event there last year at his school as a fundraiser for the school. Went beautifully. Of course, that's why they've done that too, separately, because one's that, and one has a bit more of gap to cover. So, awesome. So, I get my Mickey back over. He gets these on his sides here. One there, one there. I probably shouldn't have you in yet, so I'm just going to take you out. I'm always scared of breaking those parts when I do that. Every time. And that noise does not help at all. Alright, so this one goes on our higher side, covers some of the gap. And this is doing a pretty good job of covering the gap there. I wonder if tiles are going to end up going over that though. And here on the other side, and that's, you still get to see a little bit of the brown clip. You could probably do a few things to cover it, but not much. It's tricky. Very definitely a tricky connection without bringing that up further into the body either. Probably could have brought it up more into the body. I wonder how that would have affected the secure nature of that there. Hey Steve, how you doing, dude? Mr. Steve, some of you guys might have watched his stream. Ooh, larger dome parts. Somehow I hadn't quite grokked that until now. These are 4x4 quarter domes. Yeah, there we go. Sitting in there, looking gorgeous. These guys will go in around the back soon. I probably shouldn't jump ahead. I don't know. Gets me in trouble, that impatience. So often. You wouldn't believe how often. So often. And again, just from the wrong angle. Like there's an orange that goes under here, which I understand why. It doesn't take much for the part to start working out. When it's like working forwards, and if it does, you'll absolutely know that the part hiding under there is orange because it's day glow orange. So I'm wondering if that's another little part I might do replace at some point. Now tentacles. Is that right? I don't know, is that the right word for it? I guess it's bent over tail. Have I just put that on backwards? I totally have. That was not his... That's meant to be on his bum. Oi. I'm feeling silly now. Alright, this was meant to be his back. Fixing that up. There we go. Putting that on. And here we have his tail. Looking good. So that is Mickey's bum. Yeah. Bum is a funny word. See, I'm locked in a house with a soon-to-be 8-year-old and my partner. Yeah, going a little cray. I see, I was meant to double build that. The looks, yeah, totes. I'm going to go back a few steps and do that now. Yeah, silly me. Ding dong. Didn't I do that though? I thought I did these sides. And yeah. Which one is? What have I done? It is, it's just, yeah. Yeah, I was meant to do that for front and back. Doi. Silly me. Alright. I feel like I've got the wrong parts. I don't know how many of them flew over there. I'll have to go find out. It's probably about to become a thing. Alright, let's doing this as quick as I can right now. I should go get a glass of water too. I'm feeling a bit thirsty. So, there we go. You again. Need you in a moment. Alrighty. Favourite genre of movies? No. I don't like horror movies. I'm not gonna, you know, I mean, kudos to you. But horror movies, why would you sit down and voluntarily scare yourself on the regular? That seems like a strange thing to do. Speaking of beautiful partners, guess what she just brought me? Yeah.
Sci-fi fantasy?
I'm a superhero fan. I'm way back. Give me superheroes all day long. Live long day of superheroes. Yeah, a lot of comic books as a kid, so that's kind of, you know, translated into adult life. Get that into place for that too. Needs to be there. Alright, let's finish this guy up. So, that. Are you going to be tricky to slide in? No. Perfect. Yeah, you can notice that that's a teal there though. Just really have to look for it, but you can, yeah. That side seems to be a little better. I'm wondering if I did something to connect it wrong there. Okay. Seems to have lined up slightly differently on that side, and I did do that pretty rushed, so that's probably on me. But I don't know. Probably adjust it later. I'll just swap it out for a red part. And on the front, it should just be that. I think that gets us back to where we should have been. Collect something besides Lego. I don't know, do comic books count? Probably. Don't collect as many comic books as I used to. It's been a while actually. So, here we go. These little signature buttons on his shorts. There's enough wriggle to angle them however you so choose. I think I'm going to leave a little bit of the shorts appearing above them. Yeah. I'll have a closer look at that little gap there, because the other one just seems to line up better. That's my perfectionist coming out, right? Alright, moving on to his little gloves. More interesting Mickey Mouse trivia. His gloves are white because back when he was first made and introduced, the animation methods were cruder than they are today. I mean, you know, Mickey was the forerunner for it, right? And so by using white hands, it was just much easier to make sure that they were immediately visible. So nothing complicated or no fancy reason for having white hands. Really is that simple. And here we go. He goes on through the axle here. Just making sure I've got that on. I feel like that's the wrong angle. It's meant to be down. Alright, yep. Got the right curve there. There we go. Yeah. Taking shape. We have a beautiful little Mickey about to join us, really. And printed. See, this is what I mean. Printed parts, that's what we need. Those would be horrible to get stickers on. You'd hate those to be sticker parts, right? Alright. So, getting ready for his other arm. Beginning of the glove. Again, that kind of cute little curve to the arm there. Technicolor goes through. And also a hand down. And that's what we get. How's that? How's that? I did watch the Umbrella Academy. I haven't seen In-Betweeners. I am looking for something new to binge watch though. So that might be on the list. Just started something new the other night. Can't remember what it was though. Probably not a good sign for it, right? Probably won't get too deep in with that kind of rousing endorsement. Right, here we are. These, I presume, I mean, what else could they be? These are going to be the hands, I hope. Guess we'll find out. Coming together. Looking good, actually. Check that. And should I... Yeah, it's one of those times where I'm going to reverse build. The other hand's got to be the same, right? I don't know. I feel like that might be setting me up for a big surprise. Where are we? Just double checking. Slow down. I'll slow it. Yeah, we'll come back. We'll come back and do the other one. I'll do it right. Follow the instructions. God, Feels like that hurts the soul to say. I'm not usually one for instructions. And fiddly little fingers. We're about to have many, many fiddly little fingers. Not as many as you could have, I guess. There's our thumb. Oh, doesn't want us to do the rest yet. Interesting. Cool. Alright, putting that on your sand. I'll show that to the camera in a moment. Missing a bit. Where did I put that? Where did I put that? Ooh. The worst thing I did in school. Gosh, that takes me back. I don't know. I'm not sure. I was a rat bag in school. I was, ADHD, and I definitely had the hyperactive component when I was in school. I must have been hell on my teachers. I apologise to you if you're one of my teachers. Sorry. I grew up to be better. Promise. I do remember, I went to school in Queensland for a period of time. I got chased around the table by the teacher of our class, who was also the principal. It was a small country school. And yeah, literally chased around the room for something I did. And I had to end up stopping because I was just laughing that much. And he caught me and bent me over the table and spanked the heck out of me. I mean, it's going back far enough that was still completely legal in Queensland. It would be so inappropriate now. I could have admitted I probably deserved it. But yeah, that's the kind of kid I was in school. Cheeky. Very definitely cheeky. So, and here we have the beginning of his hands taking shape here. And now we have many, many fingers to make for him. I just want to make sure I got this right. Do the first one. And then there will be 6 more of these. I feel like I missed something there. Alright. Looks okay, looks okay. 2... 3. Where's that water go? I also ended up in Melbourne High. It was Melbourne High, which is an all-boys school. You wear a blazer. And we were a very, very naughty class of kids at Melbourne High. I mean, it's the wrong age group. I won't speak to what the school is like now, because it's many, many years later. But certainly at the time, it was, I guess, a school in trouble. We managed to give our form teacher, also our art teacher, a breakdown. He quit. And he cited us as the reason, our class. And not me personally. I certainly wasn't the ringleader. It's one of those things I always felt a little bad about, but, 24 kids. We got up to a lot of mischief. That's the short story of it. Including, one of the things I do remember is one of our teachers that we didn't overly, none of us were particularly fond of, had this very small car. And there were, of course, 24 boys in the classroom. Or, I don't remember the exact number, but I'm going to call it 24. Which means that surrounding a small car and getting each of us to lift it is absolutely possible. And we had a lot of classes in the portables outside, right next to where he parked the car. And the light poles and some other poles were positioned just right that we were able to squeeze his car perfectly in between the 2 poles. And again, this was probably a hilarious thing to do when I was 15. Right now, as an adult, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was an awful child. I'm sorry. Again, I wasn't the ringleader, I'm not the guy who suggested it. I was just a scrawny little kid. Yeah. On to bag 4 now. Opening up bag 4. What do we got in here? Alrighty. Over they go. Hopefully it's not making too much noise. I don't know. I feel like I get... Hang on, just make sure I've opened this up. I feel like I'd get in big trouble if I started asking what other people have done naughty in school. I mean, be good for your teachers. The teachers are trying to help you out, guys. You know? There's a message there. Might fall on deaf ears. Certainly did on me when I was that age. I did have some great teachers, though. Like, I was a troubled kid. I didn't have a great family. So, you know, those teachers who went that little extra bit to help, yeah, I don't know if I truly appreciated it properly at the time, but they made a difference, and yeah, that's important. It'd be nice to get the chance to thank them properly. Hello, Matthew. We have got most of Mickey done. I don't know. Probably taking longer than it should. I feel a little guilty. Probably should just, you know, talk less, build more. I talk too much, I get myself in trouble. Well, that's kind of a pattern for life, right? Maybe I should go back to Disney facts. I did have some fun with Disney facts. So Mickey has his own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Very famous is old Mickey. And Mickey also could one day potentially be our president. I say this only partially in jest, because he is the most common false name written on to any ballot. Not just in America either. Apparently he is very well known globally. More so than Santa Claus. I don't know who else makes the list of incredibly well-known people. Like, where does Michael Jackson and Madonna drop on that list? Or Kobe, you know? How far are the reach for those things? But Mickey, more, better recognised than Santa Claus. This is... Okay, so more core of what this time will be his head. So, looks like we do all of it in the one bag. And so many black parts. The black parts just blend together. I get asked a lot about sorting Lego and what people should do with sorting Lego. And the answer I always give is never by colour, because, I mean, gosh, look at all this black here. If you don't know why not to sort your Lego by colour, this is it. We have some awesome people happening there in the chat. I've got to figure out a way to kind of open up windows and juggle. There's a lot to juggle. I don't know, maybe I should chat to you, Steve, a little bit more about maybe getting you to hop on and we could do something collaborative. Just for fun, you know. I mean, you know way more about this stuff than I do. Clever man. Making bits happen. And this is exactly why you have the coloured bits in here. They're definitely easier to find with the coloured bits in here. Yep, here we are. Oh, I just put you on backwards, haven't I? Better make sure that's right way round. Spin that about. See, this is what I mean. Like, be good to your teachers, Leah. They don't deserve that. I don't know, do you feel... I'm hoping you feel guilty for that incident. I would. I feel guilty for most of the things I did as a kid. And I mean, like, I'm old enough that, like, ADHD, not enough people really recognised what it was either. I managed to go undiagnosed for a very long time. Getting diagnosed changed my life. It was absolutely life-changing. But it being unrecognised definitely caused more issues than it should have growing up. Including all the things I absolutely need to apologise to my teachers for. Did you guys just say, is it Friday yet? That's one of the things I've been streaming. Critical Role. Because everybody knows what that is, right? I don't know. Are we going to end up talking about D&D again? Wouldn't be the first time. We did that last time, didn't we? Oh, this is going to be interesting. So they've used white underneath, and then they want me to curve, which might mean you end up having white exposed. Guess we'll find out in a moment. Let's see how well it covers the gap. Because it is meant to be the rail part on the other side. Just make sure that's pushed down and into place properly. Have they clicked properly? Yeah, they feel like they've clicked properly. Seems a little, I mean, to my eye it looks like it's angled a little, which would be wrong. But I guess we'll find out in a moment. So, keeping on building there. Man, Melbourne's so cold right now. Alright. And you go on top like this. Nope, like that. Did we do something on the other side yet? Not yet. Just making... There we go. Taking shape. Starting to look like something. I don't know what it's looking like. Something. Definitely a something. Two of these. And onto the side. I'm just making sure they hit the right height. There we go. Starting to look again something. And these bits go down below. Two of those again. Right? No, is this going to be a left and a right? Not sure. I guess we find out together, right? That side. Oh no. Yeah. They're the same. Could have just reverse built that. Could have put both of that into the same step. Oops. Did that wrong though. You'd think I'd get that right. I mean, I just did it. But, there we go. And onto the other side there. Alrighty. Liking that. Looking good. Beautiful little piece of sculpture we've got shaping up here. And a little bit of black. Where are we? One by one. And another curve should be here. 2x3 curve. 1 by 3. 1 brick high. There we go. Yep. Alrighty. Cool. Let's see where this keeps going. Universal ball joints in use here. I don't know, there's not a lot of parts in this particular bag to talk about. I don't know what's worth commenting on or what you guys want to hear. I mean, I'm the guy doing the building here, but yeah. Matthew's commenting in the chat there that building helps him calm down. Me too, mate. That's absolutely something I've been doing this week. Just taking time out to get back in the studio and build. Helps focus. I feel like I've needed it. I feel like I speak for the most of the population right now when I say that. A little time out to just kind of de-stress. And yeah, just build. For me, that's what I do. So, what about you guys? There's there's a dozen of us here now. What helps you guys? What do you guys keep doing to keep sane during the middle of Rona life? Alright, so that's going to be the connections for his ears there. There is a special geometric relationship for his ears. Disney has indeed patented the special relationship. And you get little references to the shape of his head too in other Disney movies. For instance, he makes a cameo as a chair in Pinocchio. Pinocchio being the first appearance of the cat Figaro. Figaro being Minnie's cat. But that Minnie really only has that cat for a few reasons, actually. One of them is that Figaro was Walt Disney's favourite character from Pinocchio. Like, he loved Figaro, and he wanted to do as much as he could. Figaro got his own shorts. His, hers? I'm not sure. I'm not sure which gender Figaro the kitten was, so I'm going to assume he, because of the name. But Pluto, the dog, was originally named Rover in his first appearance and belonged to Minnie. Again, she is more connected to most of the cast than Mickey himself. And yeah, very quickly though, Rover got renamed to Pluto and became Mickey's dog. So she got a replacement dog, this time a poodle, which I believe was called Fifi, which also ended up getting swapped out. And that's when she got Figaro, and we've seen her with Figaro in pretty much since 1940. So it wasn't very long with that shaking stuff up that they did. But yeah, that kind of curious history of... I bet there are Disney nuts who go crazy for this trivia stuff. I can see the fun in it. I'm just not a crazy trivia nut. It's not who I am. Alrighty. So, continuing on with the building. I see a shadow out my door. Oh, I should say hi? No? I'm just making sure I'm lining this up right, because there's a few things going on here. Alright, yeah, because they are not actually, yeah. So, and then another 2x2 there. Bob Ross and Lego. I like the Bob Ross title. I'll go with that. Kind of nice. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do. Find my zen. Lego does help me find my zen. So, alrighty. Here we go. Complex little shape. That tucks on in there. Such a nice, perfect little fit. Making perfect use of the snot relationship between bricks there. A bracket and two plates is the same width as a single brick, so that brings it flush there at the front, but it will need to be squeezed in properly, otherwise we'll get hints of everything underneath. And then we get the same happening down below, which is just a beautiful piece of stud reversal happening there. Yeah, loving that. Cool, and that's where we're at. In a few moments we'll have the whole head. The whole head. I don't know, I feel like there's a song there. I shouldn't sing though, I can't sing. Comes back to the deafness, right? If I can't hear the notes, I can't repeat the notes. So I should look up at the chat a little more. Yeah. There has been a lot of disruption to Bricklink orders during Rona life. And it's tricky, I guess. Fun. What else is happening there in the chat? See, this is why I shouldn't juggle too much. I feel like I'm building slower than I should. You know, I'm doing multiple things at once. Interesting. Again, we get the... And I get why they've used a different colour brick. But even with that pushed down, I can see the orange there. And frankly, it's going to bug me. It's going to bug me. An interesting way of hiding the curves around the head there. I love that. That just lines up so perfectly. And here on the other side. That beautiful click click noise. Yeah. Much better than the sound when they come out. I'm always scared I'm going to break them when I think we saw that earlier. Alright. And now for... I'm assuming this is the back of his head. And we are really getting a beautiful shape to the back of the head here. So, rail part. 1x2. There we go. And this one goes in here. It's time for a few of these. The big ones, the new 4x4 domes go in there. Loving those new 4x4 quarter domes. And the small ones below. Ends up with quite the profile. Getting... Like once you go to a larger sculptural piece, any angled edges, it can be quite tricky to get the curves right. Again, I'll reference Mario behind me there. Getting those nice smooth curves. You'd think going large helps, but it doesn't. Not nearly as much as you might think. So yeah, here we go. Continuing to build. I think we get 2 of these for our next little bitty bit. One on either side. Flipping him around now. Interesting the connection parts that we've got going on here. So that'll allow for something underneath. We've got those bits. Yeah. A marvel of engineering inside. Beautiful. Same for the other side. Where is it? Yep. Here we go. And the front of the face is starting to take shape there. We will have an actual Mickey very, very soon. M-A-C-Q-say? Yeah. 2 hours into the stream, losing my words. Probably a sign I should wrap something up. I don't know. I can't even sing the theme song properly though. Feel like looking at him. Doing poor Mickey a disservice. Alrighty. Oops. Yep, that's right. There we go. We've got little bits coming together here. Move these parts over here. This promises to be interesting. Some beautiful shaping we've got occurring here. Bring those two together to get this. Give him a little tongue, I guess. There we go, that's what we've got happening. And again, snot reversal, stud direction reversal down there. Giving us silly me, put the corners of his mouth on backwards. Connect that too hard, yeah. So they should be there. Hides those gaps a little better. Gives him the mouth. I don't know, I'm a little concerned that you can still see a bit of a gap there. There would have been ways to cover that. Yeah, it's a very tight space, so there's not many parts that could. But the right a snot brick here with a 1x studs on either side, you could have covered it a little better. Maybe headlight brick. There's a few options, but like a bracket there maybe to hide stuff. So, you're always going to have some seams though. That's kind of the thing, and there's choices made along the way. I am loving this set. I'm loving it. Mine and Minnie Frost's favourite Lego themes. Minnie Frost, he loves Star Wars. His birthday's coming up, and we are absolutely getting him the Razor Crest. It'll be tight turnaround for his birthday. His birthday is very soon, and Melbourne is on lockdown now. So hopefully he does get here in time. But yeah, the Star Wars set, he really got into The Mandalorian. Sat down and watched that with him. I think we'd even get a rewatch during Corona Life. Yeah. What other sets? I don't know, that's the big one he likes. Okay, that's interesting shaping that we've got going on there. We get a little bit of angling here, allowable. And definitely starting to look like a head there. Yeah, cool. And we get another one of these, I don't know what the proper name would be, 2x4 curved domey brick. It's starting to look like something. And so one of the more impressive parts of this build, I will say, and I'll talk about it in a moment, but for the nose, that is a minifigure head in black and a minifigure helmet there, which is, that's gorgeous. I love that. That is fabulous. And that just, touching it might be tricky. Oh no, that wasn't, because there's a little angle happening here. I was expecting that to be a little trickier than it was. And yeah, too much of the orange and the other colours are showing up through there. That probably just shows the perfectionist in me, and I am. But that's definitely something I'm going to colour swap some of the bits that hide in the understructure before I put this out. And yeah, there we go. We've got almost our full Mickey. Here is his eyes. And this, I believe, again, is another new part. Huge. It is huge. And a half dome dish that we've got the eyes printed on here. And yeah, absolutely, one of those parts needs to be printed. That would have been awful had it been stickered. I might just rant about stickers for a little while. That'd be naughty of me. I shouldn't do that. I'm not going to sing praise for them though. Certainly not. And here we have the ears. We're about to get onto the neck. Almost done for his head. Now there are bits that need to be here underneath that I haven't done yet though. I just want to make sure I've got that angle exactly correct for there. Pushing that down, getting that into place. Oh yeah, looking gorgeous. Oh, how beautiful is this Mickey? Now there is a geometrical relationship that is meant to occur between his head and the ears, which I think is actually off here. Those ears to me look like they should have started from deeper down, perhaps, and a little bit of different sizing. Would have been very tricky in Lego, very tricky, but possibly a little larger than they should be. It's one of those things that gets spelt out in the Disney Style Guide. For the graphic designers out there, if they're curious about that kind of thing, you can actually go out and find their style guide reasonably easily, actually. And here we have Mickey, which is halfway through the build. About 1,000 parts in here. Taking me an hour to do that. That feels slow. I'm not speed building though. Yeah, there's a little bit of movement. We'd absolutely twist them. Get that side-on position where his ears. His ears move around his head in some weird ways. But again, that's all stuff that gets spelt out in the style guides and animation guides. And the tail is a very loose connection. I've already accidentally taken that off by moving around more than once. There we go. Yeah. Looking good. Looking good. Yeah. A bit floppy. That might... yeah, that's entertaining me way more than it should. Like a cat toy. Oh, my cat is totally going to come along and just start batting that thing later. Yeah, it is a little bigger than I was expecting. Matthew there in the comments. You know, I wasn't expecting it to be small, but that's definitely the kind of thing that will have shelf presence, and that's important. You could angle the arms. They're a 45-degree turn, so there's nothing stopping you shifting them. But I believe as we progress through the build, there is a banjo to put in his hands, so that's why we've got the positioning we do have for him. His foot angles, I managed to bump his foot several times. But yeah, you could... That's one of the things I guess you probably could do if you chose to mod the set. Wouldn't take much at all to shift some of the positioning. Getting him into high-fiving. I think he needs a Donald Duck companion. Maybe that's coming. I don't know. That'd be cool. I can't speak with any authority on that. Still swap to Minnie. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying the build, so gotta keep it going. So that takes us all the way through to bag 5. Bag 5 is next. We've got a change up of the colours here, which is cool. I love the magenta parts. I love the magenta parts. The magenta parts are cool. Why weren't they in the first one? Like that's definitely something I would have wanted more of. Is magenta not a Mickey colour? Minnie has actually undergone many different looks over the years. Well, not many. Many's probably the wrong way to put it. She did get a few redesigns, though, along the way. She didn't always have a bow tie. She, first off, had a top hat. The bow tie didn't appear as part of her standard look until 1940. Mickey also got a redesign at about the same time. But then they kept the same look for a very long time. And again, shout out to the people who lay out these instruction manuals. That is, yeah, just those little touches at the forward, and a little extra page there, you know. Like, a photo like that, it's a lot trickier to set up than you might think. Somebody who knows their craft has done that. Kudos to them. Kudos to them. Alrighty. I should knoll a bit. Lay out the pieces a little bit more sensibly, easily to find stuff. I don't know. It always takes time. That's the thing about ADHD. We're not known for our patience. I was thinking of doing something similar to what you suggest there, Liam. Getting people on, saying, hey, what do you want to build? This is a rather big set, so I don't think there's much opportunity for that with a set like this. But there are other sets that I've been thinking of doing something such as you suggest with. For instance, I've got a city set over there somewhere, one of the more recent town sets. Similar to the main square and, well, you know, like a couple of buildings, a couple of cars, a couple of other things that would look good in a city, but how do you go about combining them into a Lego city? And that's yeah, I think that's on the list, and that gives the opportunity really to talk a little bit more about the building tips and tricks side of it. There's not a lot of tips and tricks to be kind of drawn out of a set like this that you don't get just by building it yourself. Because a lot of the tips and tricks I'd share really come down to the decision-making process and the thinking process that happens behind making a set. It's a bit of a tangent there, but it might be what you're talking about there, right? Yeah, I'll admit, Matthew, those extra pages probably are for the adults, but this is definitely one of those sets that is for the adults. And Disney fans, like not necessarily Lego fans, but Disney fans who want something nice to have in their house. This is that kind of set. This isn't the kind of set that you'd play with. And Lego has very definitely started to segment their market and separate it into you know, sets for kids, sets for adults. Do I still stay in touch with the Lego Masters? Yeah. I know more of the people in Season 2, funnily enough. Because we are all in the same various Lego groups. The Lego community's not that big. So that's sorted out over there. Let's make the base happen. I feel like I probably should build. You know what? This is going to be the same as it was before and gets the parts out of the way so we're not creating the visual noise on the table. So let's just do that quickly. That was it, wasn't it? Guess I'll find out the quick way if this is not the same both times. But I suspect this section will be. Alright, here we go, coming together, making stuff happen. The bases are always boring, right? Not a lot goes on with that. I mean, they're important, absolutely, structurally. They're not pretty, they're not meant to be pretty. I still find it a curious choice that there isn't the Technic stud to just connect and hold there. It certainly could have been there. It was a very secure base though by the end of it, so it doesn't need to be there. Alrighty. And it is fun, shaking up the colours here. We've got a different colour palette happening this time. And I'm not quite sure what the name for the yellow is. Light? Iridescent? It's a paler yellow, which, interesting choice. The thing is, if I was to separate this set with the intention of using the parts to create other models, that colour would be very low on my list. And as a set that already has a lot of yellow in it, yeah, I think that's one of the minor, and it is a minor quibble, but I definitely would have preferred to have seen these in a straight yellow. So, one for the front there, and do that all over again to make one for the back. I do wonder if behind the scenes there was that deliberate choice. Minnie's the girl. She needs more girl colours. Because these are certainly the kind of colours you find in sets designed for girls. And like, I might start another rant here, but the idea of separating Lego into for boys and for girls, no, they're just kids' toys. It's not gendered. Like, don't do that. Why would you do that? Crazy. Alrighty. So, base is taking shape here. Change it upside down. Make sure it's in the right order. Slightly different from the one we had previously. A little crowded here. I shouldn't have put the cat over there. I shared it yesterday, I think it was, online. And a lot of people have been liking the cat, so I figured the cat does need to be present. Because we are kind of talking about sculptures. I mean, these are obviously sculptural sets. Very beautiful sculptural sets. And so I have been thinking a lot about sculpture this week as well. And true story, like, I'm building little kitty cat over here, and I get to a certain point, which is about here actually. I'm like, oh, I'm not sure that's coming together right. Is that the right shape? I don't know. I need to think about this. And so I headed out of the room. And went into my bedroom, and there is my cat just sitting there on the bed in a way that she never ever does any other time. Sitting upright saying, oh, did you need a model for your cat? Use me. Sculpt me like one of your French cats. Yeah, she was totally. She's not a show off of a cat usually. Today though. Or, well, yesterday. This was yesterday. Before I took the photos and posted them up. Billy Doll from Soul. I'm not sure I'm familiar with it. Again, I'm not into horror movies. Not my cup of tea. I mean, you know, more power to you. Life's depressing enough. I go to entertainment to be made to laugh and smile. So, but yes, the basis for other sculptural creations is absolutely here. It'd be great to see more sculptural creations turning up at LEGO events and displays when we can do that again. Might be sometime. Certainly all my local events have absolutely been cancelled. They won't be happening anytime soon. Sad. Got a few ideas though. I think there are a few things we can maybe make work. It's early days. It's in the pipeline, so I shouldn't talk too much about them yet. Now this is interesting. They've chosen to make a curve here, which is straight up. A little bit of tricky snot work. Again, that snot relationship. A bracket is half a plate width, which lines it up perfectly there to the brick height. So quite cute that as a technique. I'm missing a 1x3. I hope I didn't throw that over my shoulder earlier. Holy doodles. And again, we're setting up for a very secure connection here. Have I got that in right? Yes. This needs to be angled ever so slightly here. And that's got the plate in front of it. I suspect we'll do more to hold it in place in a moment. Because at the moment there's a lot of give there. That might be a bit of a problem. Diary for Wimpy Kid Lego. Yeah, the little one, he loves Diary of a Wimpy Kid. We do story time every night. I read him story at bedtime. And we've worked through a couple of the Diary of the Wimpy Kids now. And yes, he had book week at the very beginning of this year. They did a book week dress-up day at his school. And yes, he went as Greg from Diary of Wimpy Kid, complete with the cheese for the cheese touch, and a little Diary of the Wimpy Kid mask that I helped him make. Pretty easy to make. Just a popsicle stick and a bit of drawing. I don't know. Probably helps that I can draw. Not everybody can. Well, they can't draw that well, mind you, but enough. Well enough. Alrighty, here we go. Minnie Mouse. Minnie Mouse. I feel like I've missed something. It feels like there's too much yellow left. I wasn't meant to put more internal supports in. I guess we might find out very quickly. On to building the edge parts. Have I lined that up right? No, I have not. I knew I was doing it wrong. Liam just asked, are you famous at his school? Well, yeah, I was on Lego Masters last year. Year before? I don't know. Time's starting to blend together. The very first day after the very first episode aired, I needed to pick little Frost Jr. up from school. So I head on into his school just after lunchtime because we've got a dentist appointment after. And yeah, it's at the very end of lunchtime. I start walking across the playground and I start to hear a few people behind me recognise me. And then a few more, and a few more. Now he goes to a school of 400, I think it's 338 students at the time. I'm close enough. I didn't know the numbers, but I've got the numbers. And I swear, every single one of them started following behind me across the playground like I was the Pied Piper of Hamelin, going, "That's the Lego Master! It's the Lego Master!" It was weird, okay? I felt like I was, about to be mobbed in a strange way. But yeah, it's that was the very first day after the show aired. Yeah. So yes, everybody in his school very quickly learned who I was, and certainly still do. I did do an event for his school, a Lego exhibition, organised that. And that was awesome. That was awesome. I was really looking forward to doing it again this year, but yeah, not going to get the opportunity, I don't think. Maybe if we keep it to very small numbers, but it'd be tricky. And we were able to raise some good funds for the school through doing that. And yeah, I still kind of occasionally get stopped by some of the grade 6s and asked about stuff as I pick him up or drop him off for school. That's the thing that happens. He takes it for granted, of course. He's just like, yep, Dad's famous. Dad's got recognised again, like when we're out and about, when we're shopping, because he was often with me when these things happen. And people come up and say, "Hey, Lego Master, thank you," or whatever, Still happening, mind you, or at least happened in March during the first lockdown. Because I haven't been out of the house much, but it was kind of odd for it to not only still be happening, but there's me and barely one other person, and it's well and truly aired. And then all of a sudden to still be getting recognised, and yeah, it was one of the people who came up and said, thank you for your time on Lego Masters. And front and back with these, just like they were last time. Hopefully they don't miraculously fly away as I do this again. That was awkward and uncomfortable. And we get just the beginning of her feet, I guess. Her heels. Start to slot in here. my gosh. Why do I have white bits in my hand? I should not have white bits in my hand. Do I need it for something? Let's check. Oh, we're meant to go there. Around the side of this. Yeah, hopefully this doesn't break too much. On the outskirts of Melbourne. We're on the outskirts of Melbourne. Melbourne's north. It's nice quiet up here. That's where we're at. How about yourself, Liam? What part of Melbourne are you at? I'm guessing Melbourne, right? So, I think you mentioned something about the weather, actually. We're sharing the same weather patterns. So, and certainly, too, I can see people dropping in and out. As you drop in or out or whatever, say hello in the chat, ask a question. Because otherwise I run out of stuff to talk about. Well, you know, I don't know how entertaining the sound of my own voice is. Well, that's obviously in my head. My own insecurities echoing back at me, right? Oh, yes, we have absolutely watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine while in lockdown. That is another one of my little one's favourite shows. That's a great show, right? And so here we have bag 6, which promises to actually build quite a lot of her. We're going to get legs and a part of her body in this bag. Well, that's what it's promising us with the little picture. Let's get on with it here. And some interesting little technic connections about to occur. Okay. Nothing actually to hold that in place yet, but I guess it will be in a moment. Some technic pins over here. Make sure they go in the right way. Loop pins having 2 directions for them, like they've got the little stopper part way along the length. Awesome. Looking good. More of these beautiful new 2x4s with the Technicols coming in there. Interesting. Looking from the cover, it's a little tricky to decipher. I believe we're about to get more new parts. And so this is one of the little sections of the build that I've been kind of a bit excited for, looking forward to. Promises some new things here. What else have we got here? Alrighty. Taking shape. The I think it's 3x6 red windscreen in red. I'm not sure we've had them in red before. I could be wrong. And a little bit of room left here on the rear for her tail, which doesn't look to be in this bag. Alright, flipping it upside down now. Making more building happen. Ooh, there will be a left and a right there. I probably should actually make sure her tail's on the right side. Because I think I've just done that backwards otherwise. Pushing all of that down into place properly now. There we go. We get a bar happening here like this. And taking shape. Taking shape. There we go. Yeah, out there near Airport West. Nice area. I think my first graphic design job was out there. My first graphic design job was laying up real estate signboards. I think it's all been automated out now. Certainly that's was happening while I was there. And I believe they, I was told that it was the largest printer in the southern hemisphere at the time. Had to print real estate signboards, which can be quite large. What was beautiful about it though, it looked like a little bubble jet printer that you just made really, really big. Like this thing filled a room. It was huge. But it looked like your home desktop kind of printer deal, you know, just plastic moulding and everything. It was such a gorgeous little thing that took up a whole room. You know, it was huge. Yeah, it was a good job, that one. I liked that. Very laid back, and I learnt a lot about typography and typography layouts. Alrighty, so there's... Yep. Just making sure there's not a universal. I'm reversing it. But sometimes, you know, these things do need to be put in the right direction, so I'm just going to make sure, bit by bit, get all of that into place, squeeze it down, make sure it's properly connected. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Alrighty. Again, we get the connection point for, I presume these are going to be the arms again, the connection points for the arms, similar to what we had in Mickey. In fact, it almost looks like it's an entirely identical neck section taking shape here. We get the little barrel and everything. Another little barrel in black. I'll probably appear in other sets sooner, but yeah, I do believe it's the first time we've seen it in that colour. And that feels like I've hit that height on her a little too quick. I'm sure it'll all make sense soon. So there we go. Check it out. Little wheels in gold. Pearl gold. I love the pearl gold colour. Now there is I've got 4 of these little pins I need to put in right now, and I'm just making sure I do them in the right direction, because otherwise won't line up with the Technicolor underneath correctly. And then it goes through here. Interesting. Well, doesn't matter as much. I get my big Technic theme, squeeze it on through. And the reason for needing to have them in the right direction is these little Technic pins here. Right. Starting to look like the top of a leg. Gizmo from Gremlins. He is actually on the list of things I'd like to tone my hand to and sculpt. He wouldn't be overly complicated, especially with the abundance of useful parts that are out there. So it's one of those things probably will happen very soon. I don't know, it's a matter of finding time. I haven't had a lot of time recently. Just checking how many of these. And slide 7 of these along his leg. I better count them out first, otherwise we get it wrong. Alright. And up that direction. 1, 2. And yeah, every time I do that, I can see that Technic pin coming up a little bit more. That might cause issue depending upon what's on top of that there. Probably not anything. Yeah, Gremlins, Gizmo, he is cute, isn't he? And I reckon there's definitely the possibility to make him at this scale. Possibility is the wrong word. It'd be rather easy to make him at this scale. I better make sure that is the right direction too. There we go. And we have what will be one of her legs. Instructions for Gizmo. Instructions take forever and a day to create. I'm not quite sure how much interest is in... I'm still not sure how much interest is in instructions. And I did make the ones for the food stand diners, made them available, basically as a way of helping out with the bushfires when that was happening. Alright, I should have another red pin here. I'm not seeing it. What have I done? Did I throw it over my shoulder with one of the bags? Silly me. I bet I have. It's meant to go in there. I don't know. We'll build the rest here and see where we end up. Just to double check. This time it is 6 little black ones, and I should have 6 left. Yep, I do. Now red, white. I am definitely missing a few parts. That could be a thing in a moment. And I've got an extra red tile. I should not have that. What have I done? Just double checking here. No, I am only meant to have 2, and they are both actually in the right spots. They might have misbagged. Who knows? It does happen. Ooh. I'm going to check the bags I just threw over my shoulder. Alright, give me 1 second, guys. So, I'm going to swap these out for the black ones anyway, that I've just grabbed out from over there. And in here, hopefully, I have a 2x2 round with a hole through the middle. I may not. I may not. Maybe a thing. Jiminy crickets, I don't think I do. None with an anti-stud hole. The best thing I got for Christmas. Oh. I don't know, that's a tricky one. What about you, Liam? What's the best thing you've gotten for Christmas? And to the others in the chat. There's not many of us here right now, but you know. To those who are, put in the chat. And what's the best thing you've ever gotten for Christmas? Farewell, Liam. Thank you for joining me. Good talking with you, dude. I probably should be going too. Enjoying the build. I think I just... No, I did not. I'm not sure I have any... Now, I don't know if it's one of those things that'll just turn up. I'm hoping it does. But right now I do think that I am missing a part from this set. I guess I'll find out, right? I will find out. line that up there. Lego's customer service is incredible though. If that does end up being the case, I'll just reach out. I don't know. I'll probably actually do it. Tag it on a Bricklink order. Won't even go to that trouble. I better put this on correctly actually, otherwise I'm going to run into trouble. Even though I know that later I'm going to have to pull them off. An Amiga 500. Oh, Matthew Luttrell. I'm guessing you're not a young person. Citing the Amiga 500. But yeah, that's a good gift. That's a good gift. I would have loved something like that when I was a kid. I think I got a Game Boy. Like the original Game Boy. Which probably absolutely gives away my age. Have I connected that? Yep, it's meant to be outwards. I think actually I might have missed a 2x2 round there. Yeah, the original green screen Game Boy. Like there were only 7 games released with it. They weren't great games, not initially. Tetris came with it. We had to wait a while for Mario Brothers to be released. None of those first few games that got released were any good whatsoever. They just weren't, okay? Let's call it what it is. Yeah, I did look under the bases. Sometimes the parts do get mixed up. But seeing I was missing a Technic pin, I do seem to have one more of these than I probably should, but that might be on me. I'm not discounting the possibility that there was actually a missing part in this set. Which I believe makes it a 1 in a million chance. I guess I should get a Lotto ticket with those kind of odds, right? Did that just happen? Guess we'll find out later. Alright, so we're on to bag 8. Bag 8, which is almost the end of the build. Not much left. Oh, sorry, bag 7. Bag 7. Then 8. Alright. I'm checking the bag a little closer this time for stray parts before I do that. We've got a tail in here again. Yeah, I'll go through the bags in a moment and see if I'm missing that part. And yeah, see this is the part I was kind of curious about. I'm not sure if this is new or not. I think maybe we've seen trans pieces in this shape before. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, a 8, yeah, 8 by 5, I think that is. I'd have to measure it. Yeah, check that out. That's a thing of beauty. A thing of beauty there. We get 2 of them. There's the second one there. I joke and say that these are my missing 2x2 rounds, but they're going to be. I'm going to already see that in a moment they will go there, so I'm going to make that happen just to kind of get some of that stuff off to the side, even though we're not ready for the arms yet. Let's put that over there. And yeah, more printed parts. How gorgeous are they? Yeah, but I can see the bags I threw over there. Like, it was bag 6. That doesn't seem like it's white. It'd be easy enough to spot, right? Missing parts. Yes, my understanding is that given their quality control, and they do little things to make sure that everybody gets the full complement of parts. Like over here, so this is my pile of leftover spares that I would absolutely expect from any build. The one by one parts, for instance. You get given those with the expectation that you may not get the full complement, so they make sure you get that little bit extra. So the weighing machines that check make sure that there's the right amount in there. And let's bring Minnie a little closer. I hope she's kind of in view there. Getting the first side of her skirt on, second side, we go there. And we're about to have a whole bunch more of her skirt happen. Weedles. Just want to make sure I've got the bits here lined up correctly for this bag. We're seeing these, the 5-plate high 1x1 with snots on side appear in many more sets recently. They are a beautiful part. That slots on under here. I'll show this to the camera in just a moment. So, thanks. So I better put those in, give the full shaping there. And there we have the front of Minnie's mini dress. Looking good. Looking good, Minnie. Oh, loving that. Loving it. Don't. Bits. Here we go. Putting together a tail for her. The tail's reasonably posable. I think it was Liam, was asking about the posability of the various parts. Silly me. Put that on backwards. Oh yeah, I hope that isn't too... No, that's easy enough to fix. There we go. She's fixed up there. There we go. That's what it's meant to look like from the front there. Now I presume this will be her shoes. Her beautiful little dainty heels. How does she walk in them? I don't know, she's a cartoon character, right? It's easy to walk in heels when you're a cartoon character. You don't have to worry about physics. Not in the same way. Anvils, maybe. Not permanently. There's advantages to being a cartoon character. Gravity is only a problem if somebody points it out to you. Walk off that cliff. Doesn't matter. Hey, I'm doing fine. Like the top of a shoe. We've got another one of those coming. Make that happen now. Many more beautiful yellow pieces in here. Another really worth commenting on. The dress parts, they're gorgeous. These are pretty run-of-the-mill. Though I don't have enough of these 1x1s with studs on two sides. Could definitely use more of those in the collection. Those kind of parts are one of those ones I find myself looking for all the time. More of these sorts of models? I do hope they do more of these sorts of models, Matthew. This is a gorgeous little set. I think I've said that a few times, but definitely the kind of thing I want to see, I'm going to put up on the shelf. I did recently get the Yoda buildable minifigure, which is in the same kind of vein, the idea of a statue that you can build and put on a shelf. Obviously for a very different portion of the market, that's for the Star Wars fans. But I haven't done anything with it yet because I'm going to turn him into Baby Yoda. And there's a few people out there who've already done that. There are a few ways you can do it. But, oh yeah. Her feet coming together beautifully now. Still a little bit left to shaping on her feet, like you can see where the connection points are. But that's what her little heels look like. Looking good there, Minnie. And yeah, so we've just had the buildable eye masks drop. They're again same kind of market. I'm not a fan of the eye mask. It's one of those things that definitely needs a little bit of modding. It's not as solid as it could be either in some ways. I don't know how much of that is just me being a perfectionist, but I've certainly seen that reflected by other people and their comments and people taking steps to change it. So, yeah, I don't think I'm alone in that. But easily enough changed, you know? Something you can do very easily. So, and the rear of her heels taking shape here. Two of those. There we go. Alrighty. Slot in. I'll show it all to the camera in just a moment. I'll make sure we get a better view there. Because, you know, they're a little hard to twist down on this side. Maybe I need more build cameras. I don't know, cameras everywhere. A way to swap between them. Alright. Shoestring budget. Not even half a dozen people watching right now. Like, we had some decent numbers earlier. But right now, I think it's just you, Matthew, me, and a few others. Hello to the others. Feel free to comment in the chat, ask questions, talk about stuff, whatever you want to talk about. And I've just put that together wrong, silly me. These will be the sides of her shoes. Got a few of those coming. So here we go. Right, other side. Okay. Right, focusing a little better. Remember to focus. I reckon there'd have to be more busts coming out. It's just such a cool idea. We've had lots of them over the years too. We've had Darth Maul and so many. And the increased palette they have available as the designers means that there's a lot more options that have become available for what they can do, for the realistic level of the sets we can get. We don't have to be stuck with just the kind of stuff you can output from a voxel program. You can get clever with the snot to really do something technically complicated. And I like that. I do. So, alright. On the other side for her feet. And again, two of these. Almost done. Feel like I've got more spare parts than I should. I don't know. It'll resolve itself, right? Maybe. Who knows? We'll figure it out. Alright, so that goes on that side. And here we have her feet coming together. You can see the snot connections there. Just not fits on like that. Covers that space from the side. Like, yeah. Looks very nice from the side. That's one of those things that is a lot harder to kind of figure out the right angles and get the right connections than you might think. The fact that they're cartoony to begin with does certainly help, but like that absolutely needs to be connected correctly to the legs. I do need to give it a bit more squeeze there. Yeah, that's looking fine. And I'm not going to have to stress too much about the missing white part, because I think that's actually connecting well enough. There's not a lot of weight on top, so that'll make it a little simpler. If you get low enough, gaps do start to appear just a little bit. Would have been a tricky gap to hide though, that one. There's ways, but I'm not sure. At some point you just got to let it go, right? In the words of Elsa. Let it go, let it go. Why can't you give Elsa a balloon? Because she'll let it go. Yeah, dad jokes. Dad jokes for the win, right? Yeah. Need more dad jokes? I feel a little guilty. Nah, I'm not going to feel guilty about dad joking. What busts would you like to see in the lineup, Matthew? If Lego was to release a new bust tomorrow, what would you like it to be? Mickey. Mickey just fell over there. He's been standing up, kind of playing foosball over there the whole time. Right, so putting these parts together. Ah, a few more people dropping in. Hi guys, how you all doing? So pretty deep into the build right now. Almost done. We've done Mickey. We're on a Minnie. There'll be a few little bits left after. Here we have Minnie's belly clicking on, and it is the same deal happening there at her back, giving us, this is what we've got, this is where we're at. Looking good. And now we have a couple of these to kind of hide the curves. And see, this is, I think, why they chose this scale. This is a great scale for a lot of the existing parts that slope in multiple directions. It really makes that shaping a lot easier when you've got, when you've chosen the right scale. Han, Luke Skywalker, Leia, and Han. Oh, they are not easy choices. To truly do them justice and not make them look a little weird and follow everything else you would need to with those kind of builds is incredibly technically complicated. I mean, I'd love to see those too. I might even give it a shot myself, actually. I've got a few. I've got a self-portrait around here. I did Santa last year, life size. So, definitely something that I could do, but I don't have to have the same constraints as an official set released. Like, if my set, you know, if I drop it and bits fall off, that's okay. I know how to put it back together. You can't automatically assume that the people buying these sets and making these sets will have the same ease of skill, and that's something that needs to be accounted for along the way. So, I think I've got her arms in the right positioning here. I'll show that to the camera in a moment. Similar to what we had Mickey have. These, I think, would have been nicer maybe if we'd had a little flex on them. Because I think somebody mentioned earlier the possibility of posing her hands. I think I'd like to see her waving. I might adjust that towards the end. And the hands. Let's just reverse build. Make life easy, hopefully. Do it two-handed. Oops. Need those first. Push back underneath there. That's not quite flush on the table. Which is my fault. I'm choosing this method. There we go. Move it a little quicker that way. Where am I? Our thumb connectors. Did you just drop off? You did. Alrighty. Pack of gloves. And we've got most of the hands there. My Spider-Man build. Yeah, I still haven't finished that. I've got to get back to it, actually. There's a lot of gaps left in the Spider-Man head. feel a little guilty. I think we've picked up a theme here. I feel guilty a lot. Probably shouldn't. I do though. No, Spider-Man, I just haven't had time, honestly. Because I've been meaning to do it for quite some time. He's the companion to my Daily Bugle. So it is definitely something I want to get the chance to go back to and finish up. Spider-Man, I wanted to be as smooth as possible, and it did take a while to get the flex tube I needed to give the webbing across the head, and making sure that the webbing's inlaid into the head, so not just floating above, but inlaid is the trick. So it's really just a matter of taking him down, rebuilding him, mostly from scratch, putting him back together. So, because I reverse build, I can skip over that, and now we can connect the hands. And a whole bunch of... Okay, I've got more parts than I should have here. That's on me. I bet there's something I missed there. Too busy doing too many things at once. Get there. Just looks like the reverse. I should have done the front of her skirt to the back of her skirt. Ah, Matthew, too many ideas? No, that's ADHD life. I think anybody who has ADHD can probably tell you what that's like. So, it's okay. Ideas are easy. And look, certainly when you do those kind of projects, or have a couple of projects on the go, especially larger Lego projects, it makes it a little easier to have multiples on the go, because you will inevitably find yourself running out of the parts, which, sure, you can build, use other parts to achieve the same ends, but there's a certain luxury in just being able to take your own pace and build as you want to build, and wait for those extra parts to come in that'll give you that right solution, I guess I'll say, for a build. And so certainly larger things. And I know I've referenced Mario behind me a few times. He uses a few of the 1x3x2 high sloped bricks, more than he probably should. And so having a few of those, yeah, I'm going to have to wait for a few of those to help finish off the side of his face. Because the shaping on his cheeks is really coming together beautifully. I'm very happy with how that's turning out. And just from memory, this was how this was built. I mean, there's not that many pieces on the table. Can't actually have been built that many ways anyway. Here we go, that's that. That's that. I still feel like I've got more parts than I should. I definitely have more parts than I should. You go underneath. You go there. Alright, yep, that is absolutely more parts than I should have. I bet they go there. I should just double check the picture. Do we have a picture? Yeah. They went on the side. And that looks like it should. Yes. Rushing through there. I might get a chance to revisit Spider-Man this week. I've had the chance to get a little bit more sculptural work done. And he's certainly on the list. I want to get Mario moved a little further forward. But yeah, turning Spider-Man into a decent bust. And one of the challenges for building a larger head bust, which might not be immediately obvious, I'm just going to grab the next bag. We'll make the noise and we'll come back to that. Flip. 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 I don't know, is that can borrow? Does it get funnier with repetition? I don't know. Let's see. Flip. Entertaining myself there. Cool. Alright. Again, we've got that too many black parts on the table thing. So I'm just going to get a little bit of organisation. Not too much. Just a little bit of organisation. Dome bits that'll come in for the back of the head. Printed tiles there. Yeah, actually. I'm just going to get the ears out of the way. Her ears, I believe, are identical. I'm just going to assume they are. So, if you're just starting out with mocking, working with what you've got is a very good way to learn how parts connect together. And certainly, if you're starting out with mocking, some of the exercises you can do to help build your ability, just take a random bag of parts or take an existing set and just see what you can do with it. See what the possibilities are. Take some time out and explore, basically. You'll surprise yourself with what you find. Some of my favourite little mini builds come out of what I call table scrap. Table scrap basically being the parts you end up left on the table after you've built something else. So some sets, for instance, have an odd variety of parts left over or other ways to do it. This little foosball table that's been sitting over here in the corner, I've been thinking about a foosball table for a while. I wanted to go with my arcade that I've got developing. I've got a whole bunch of arcade machines, but they're not really put into anything yet. I'm thinking maybe Flint's Arcade from Tron. I don't know. But this really started out as just table scrap. Okay, what can I do with this bunch of small parts that looks like a good foosball table? Because there are a few little challenges. Like, I love building at this scale. Love it. And it's a very tricky thing to do, to get those angles right. Like, how do you get that little depth into the table to have the idea that there is depth there? And you can't really tell too much until you start looking for it. But I've achieved that by alternating the clips here and only sometimes connecting there. Gives me a very tight space to create the reverse stud effect. And then I've got the sloped panels underneath. But yeah, like I said, started out as table scrap and just experimenting. So absolutely, the limitations that get put on you by not having necessarily enough parts shouldn't be seen as a limitation, because it's not really. It can be, in its own way, a big benefit. And speaking of new parts, check this out. I'm pretty sure this is a new part, probably just for this set at this point. I don't know. But check that out. I'll start that sentence again. A 4x4 dish, round, it's 1 brick high, and that's not a... Like, that's going to fit this. It's going to fit that. Which is a beautiful little shape. Yeah, check that out. That is... Oh. And so sometimes, just find yourself a really unique and interesting piece. Something that you may not otherwise know what to do with. And choose it because you don't know what to do with it. And just explore the possibilities of what you can do with it. And that's part, like, if you were here for last week when we opened up the troll set and kind of did a quick build and exploration, that's kind of what came out of that. And you might have seen the photos of what I ended up building with that. There are a few little pieces of vegetation, and it was a very simple trick. Turn a plate upside down. Again, exercises to build building skills. Turn a plate upside down and just see what comes out of the very fact that it is upside down, because it forces you to change the way you see. And a lot of creativity really is about a way of seeing. And how have I managed to flip forward pages and not actually have done the things that were on those pages? Alright. Not that I really needed those pages, it was all kind of clear in the instructions. Not a lot hidden here. Alrighty. Here we goes. Here we go again. Bopping? That's the song in my head? I mean, I put music on, but YouTube would flag that super quick, right? Yeah, the old wheels from way back. Not quite, because it's hollow, there's depth there. I believe the old wheels, they were flush at the front with the studs there at the front, and they had the a little bit more space underneath. But that absolutely looks like it has been designed, because that's only a half brick thickness on the edges, to fit our little 3x3 dome. Another new part. There were a lot of those in the troll sets. The troll sets, I won't. I'm not the target market. Obviously, not the target market for a troll set. I'm not buying it because of the Trolls branding. I am buying it because of the parts in there. And, oh my gosh, it was a gorgeous load of parts. I loved what was in that set. Even those new giant kind of pods, and those giant pods that are in the troll sets, they look like a one-use part. They're not. And so yeah, coming back to that idea of starting out, thinking about what kind of things you can build. Well, start with an unusual part. Maybe it's the really chunky big pods out of the troll sets, who knows? And just go, what can I do with this? And explore. Yeah, doesn't have to be more complicated than that. So, here we are, looking for another 1x1 with its snots on all sides. There you are. Brackets. Too many large parts in this one. Probably should sort out a few of these. And all black. Right now I'm looking at a big table full of black. All blends together. Hopefully it's well lit enough for the camera. Right to go. Alright. And it looks like we've got the same basic core in action as we saw on Mickey. The colours have changed, but the basic design feels like it's the same. So, which is an interesting way to shake up the build, flipping the colours internally. Putting it together, making it happen a little quicker now. Alright. I'm not sure. We've had these brackets in this colour too, so that might be another new part, or at least a new colour that we have going on here. Gorgeous, gorgeous. More of these pale yellow. I would have preferred if those were in the standard yellow. Opens up more uses for them. Right. And good use of the mudguards here to provide the snot surfaces here. And that little opening there, made good use of that in Mickey. I will need to put those in, they belong there. A few more 1x1s. Alright, look at what we've got. Do I put that on yet? So, a little bit more. This will be the base of the back of the head, if it's similar to how we worked for Mickey. And again, I suspect we're going to have that little bit of space and gap at the back of the head. I'm a little concerned about that. Move that. Yeah, lots of new colours. Lots of new parts coming in new colours, especially. And Minnie does have a few little variations that are happening on the back of her head. And we're obviously going to have something happening there in just a moment. Using the pins here as a connection point, or setting up a connection point. So this would be her head, top of the head. So, and of course, being Minnie, she needs a bow or a hat. Could reskin her to go old school. They could have gone Steamboat Willie era. I don't know. I mean, outside of Steamboat Willie, how many of the early cartoons can most of us probably name? Right, I'm going to need 2 of these in a moment. So, there's 1. There's 2. And let's start making the head take shape. Make sure I'm doing everything on the right side of it. And yes, incredibly similar to what we had happening with Mickey earlier. Just trying to make sure I do line this up right. I'm a little worried I am not. I've missed something here. I've missed a layer. Silly me. Yeah, I can see. The math didn't check out. Alrighty. Here we go. And the cheeks. Working on her cheeks now. Oops. Again, very similar to Mickey. Can almost do it by memory. So yeah, jumping ahead now because I know that this is going to happen at the back. Alrighty. What else do we have here? The setup for her ears. Yeah, see, wouldn't it have taken much to kind of open up the space here to kind of give a little bit more depth to bring the connection point for the ears down and bring them in closer? There's a little bit of a gap here. I guess that'll be covered by what's coming. More of these beautiful, more magenta, new magenta pieces coming into play here. And this will be the shaping up for her mouth, I presume. Yep. Carbon copy. Carbon copy of Mickey here. Awesome. No. Riddles. Okay. So there we go. Similar to how we did it with Mickey there. I'm sure that's kind of tricky to insert that, probably. Yeah, there we go. Does fit neatly. And yeah, like I said, the hubcaps do help guide the top section in. It's a little tight to get the bits in there. Not in a bad way. I am loving this build. I know I keep saying that, but yeah. Put those in slightly wrong height anyway, because that. Here we go. Minnie's head is looking a little bit Robotnik. We're talking about the rear right now. Put this in place first. This makes life easier. Quickly slam that out. Very close to the end of the build now, so we'll take it on home. There we go. And again, the choice of... It's a very bright colour. It will show through there. So my house is pretty crowded with Lego Matthew, and so there's limited room to display other sets. If a set makes its way onto display in the house, yes, quite often they do get small adjustments. It can be quite as simple as just, I mean, I did push that down flush. I can still see the pink under there of that extra brick. And it could be just as simple as, and I will, because I'll do the same to Mickey's head because I had the same issue. I'll swap it out for a black part. That's it. So sometimes it's just a simple little colour change, or it can be more. So with the detective's office, I love the detective's office. It is a great build, but it's a little smaller than I think it should be. Now, of course, to be a modular, there has to be, at some point, a part limit. You can't just put in a billion parts, and because that's going to have to force up the price. But I don't feel like the modular detective office as a modular is big enough. It's not tall enough to really capture that idea of a tenement building, which it's meant to. And again, that's not necessarily big, because it was very easy to just add in an additional middle floor, and that was the big change I made to my detective's office. Sometimes I go a little further, but most of the sets on display in the house are mostly as they were released. I've got a Wally. Wally's probably the one that I changed most. Wally, if you remember, had an issue with his neck when he was first released. And so I did take a little bit of effort to fix the neck. It's not... certain people did publish their solutions for it. Mine's kind of somewhere in between, because I guess we all kind of arrived at the same basic ideas. I wanted my Wally to be a little bit more screen accurate, though. I didn't think he was very screen accurate. And so any of the changes I made to him, and yeah, the neck is definitely part of that, and the way he's head shaped is part of that, we're all about making him a little bit more screen accurate. I also motorized him. And there are big modifications that need to be made to him to basically just open up the room to get the battery pack and other details inside him. And I better make sure that's the right colour, or that's going to cause problems for me later. And yeah, Wally's probably the set that I've got on display in the house that I've modified the most. But I think I mentioned Baby Yoda before. I'm absolutely going to be using the official Buildable Yoda set as a way to craft Baby Yoda. I've seen a few people who have given it their shot on the mocks. Some of them are really nice. So I'm a little... I think I put that on the backwards. Did I put that backwards? I totally did, didn't I? And I'm getting distracted by other things. It's like a build. Yeah, that's the back of the head. Gee, many crickets. I'm just gonna... Oh yeah, that should be easy enough. There we go. And that lines up properly now. Did feel like that wasn't lining up properly. I should have trusted that a bit more. Alright, here we go. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Looking a little better. More like the picture anyway. Okay. There's no way I'm missing another bar. This has absolutely got to be on me, right? Yeah, well, the modulars are meant to be viewed. Matthew there in the chat saying, you'd like them to go to the end of the base plate and you don't like the backs of them. Well, because they're meant to be viewed from the front, there are certain compromises, I guess, you need to make with them. And certainly that's one of them, in a lot of ways. I was absolutely expecting the longer hubcap, but I guess that comes in a moment. So, yeah, it's by necessity they kind of have to... Oh no, we're going to get a different shaped mouth for... And the great thing about any modular, and Lego in general, is you're not constrained by what you get in the box. There's absolutely nothing stopping you saying, hey, I don't like the way this particular set looks. I want to shake that up. I want to change it to something I do look. Because at some point it becomes personal preference. And again, talking about exercises you can do for yourself to basically just build up your Lego building skills, that's one of them. That's one of them that I would recommend. Take an existing set that you like, but maybe there's a few things you want to shake up and change them up, and shake them up. And yeah, that's absolutely a great start. Like, maybe the recently released bookshop needs more bookshelves in it, and you've got a really good idea for how you want those bookshelves to look. Shake it up, make it happen. And we're going to get a similar connection for the nose as we had in Mickey. There we go. And that slots in. Alright, make sure that's in first. I feel like I've got a little too much of a gap showing. I think I've done something that I shouldn't have. I'm racing through this, yeah. Yeah, silly me, I didn't put that forward enough. No. That is correct. That's correct, it's... I'm wondering if the little colour section here is going to end up being revealed as a result of this, but I believe actually it is as the instructions say. So that's in place. Time to build the nose. Alright. Go with the nose, yep. And pretty much just as Mickey's was. And again, the beautiful use of the space helmet there in black. Hopefully that means we have black spacemen at some point soon coming down the pipe towards us. Yeah, that nose is showing far too much of the other colours are showing through there. No, in a moment that may not be a thing. I still feel like maybe I've angled that wrong. I think I maybe have. Just does not feel like it's connecting correctly there. check. I don't know. Slowing down. Talking less. I'm a little tired. It's probably time to wrap. We will in a moment. Yeah, there. That comes in, connects. That does not feel like it's... like that's not flush. I've done something somewhere. That should be higher than it actually is. To get that. I know what I've done, I've just seen it. Oh, silly me, this was meant to be higher. Ha 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 ha. Now it all comes together. Cooking with gas. Oh. Silly Billy me. Oh. Yep, there we go. There's our mini head. How's that looking? That's a lot better, right? Much. Alrighty. Okay, ears on there that we prepared earlier. Feeling much better about that. Okay, figured that one out. Silly Billy me, and a little bit of, well, get ready for the bow in her hair. Beautiful little use of the parts here to make this happen. So check that out, yeah. These parts have turned up, I think in a few sets. I'm turning up in abundance at the moment. Beautiful little flower part. A lot of possibility with that part. A lot of possibility. And there we go. Onto the head there. Little flower. And yeah, little hat. Connect that on there. Just move those parts aside. Bring that on down. Oops. Yep, things are going click, as they should. Check her out there. This is our Minnie. How gorgeous is that? Oh. We do have one bag left. A couple accessories in bag 9 to come. So let's make it. Homeward stretch now. So what's going on here? Yeah, the Corner Garage is a nice set. Again, it's one of those sets that does. It very easily opens itself up to adjustment. There's a lot of things you can do with it. And so, again, it can be little things. Maybe you want it to be a different shop front. You know, something as simple as a colour change can work. So certainly you could use similar instructions for existing modulars. And just by changing colours, you can have different neighbouring buildings. Awesome. There we go. And so I believe we're about to do a book, a flower, and the banjo. We start off with what looks like the flowers in this bag. A little gift for his lovely love, Minnie. Alrighty. This will be a nice, quick, easy build to knock out, I guess. Here we go with it. Interesting. Loving these new rounded 2x2s, oh sorry, 1x2s with the pinholes. And yeah, we get a whole bunch more of the flowers that we saw in her hair earlier. Same basic design here. too complex. And again, because we've been talking about the little things you can maybe do to adjust the set, I've just seen one of the things I'll definitely do to adjust this one. I'd like some of the stems to come up and down at different heights or maybe different angles. You do have a little bit of wriggle room available to you with these, but as it stands, that's well, it's all the same height. And a bouquet of flowers has different lift and different shape, and that asymmetry that you get in nature is something that's very tricky to replicate with something that's as to the grid as Lego. But it's it's a few more cones down the base, maybe some leaves. That'd be tricky given the colour palette, but not impossible. I think maybe an ice cream cone in black would give the connection points to have a few little leaves kind of come off at the very base there. And yeah, just give a little bit more bounce and lift, and that would probably also allow to have it be a larger bouquet of flowers as well, because it looks like a little bit of a sparse empty bouquet. But Minnie's from a farming background. That is one of the things that Minnie's all about. She's a farmer's daughter. Interesting further Lego, Mickey, Disney, Minnie trivia there for you. Oh, and before we get too far, because this is what's distracting me here, check these beautiful new bricks here. So they follow the form of our very familiar 1x2 rounded curved brick, but we get the corner. I don't think we've had a corner for them. Well, I know we haven't had a corner before because I've looked for them. I've wanted them. That's been on my wish list. There we have it. There we have it. It is just gorgeous to see that there. Gorgeous. Did I say gorgeous a few times? I didn't totally say a few. I don't know, maybe not actually. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. There you go. Said it, said it. Thank you for joining, Matthew. Hope you had fun. Any feedback, I'm open to feedback. And yeah, have a good night, mate. Have a good night. Alright, now I am meant to be putting the stickers on these parts. I'm not going to do that. I think I said that from the beginning. I'm not a sticker fan. Okay. Dropping parts. Wrapping it up. And to those few that are still here watching, yeah, if you've got questions, anything you want to share, things to kind of whack in the chat, we'll be drawing to close pretty soon. And again, this is the cover of the book. Again, it's inviting me to put the stickers on. Won't be doing that. The beautiful new love heart pieces we've seen in a few sets now. I think they were in the dot sets. I've got a few of them floating around the house now. In pearl gold there, which is, yeah, the number of things you can do using these for trim is just, such a beautiful part. I feel like I did miss something. I did. There's a lip part there. The Lego Mario sets. Grey Fox has just asked my thoughts on the Lego Mario sets. I'm torn. I did do a review on them, so I'm just basically going to say what I said in the review. Which is essentially, if you were to draw a Venn diagram of Lego fans and Mario fans, there's overlap in the middle. There's absolutely some overlap there. But the issue is how much overlap. Because really, the Mario sets very tightly appeal for people who are a little bit of both. The app that you can download to use to play with the Mario sets, it's not very robust. There's not a lot of game going on there. The sets are like the Mario himself. He's electronic, he lights up, and he interacts, and he's beautiful to watch interact. I don't know if it justifies the price point, mind you, but it is a beautiful thing to watch him interact with that way and go through the signals. But he doesn't work as an amiibo, which probably tells you volumes about the kind of gaming experience you do get if you choose to download the app. It is fun, it is something that me and the little one spent a little bit of time with, but he got bored super quick, and he is the target demographic to play with them as sets. And yeah, bored very quickly. Myself, I was there because I like the parts. We do get a lot of new interesting parts with the Mario sets, which is cool. Absolutely cool. Whoops, I put one too many on that side. Right. So, yep. Oops. Yeah, so that's kind of, if you are a huge Mario fan, if you've got the extra money to burn, because they are, the entire range of Mario sets here in this country will set you back $830. That's full retail, not cheap at all. So it's really a niche. It's a very niche product, and it's something I think needs to be a personal choice that people will make. Is this set for me? Will it entertain my kids? And there's curious little things, like they didn't include instruction manuals in them. And I think that's an interesting omission. There needs to be instructions kits with them. The app did not work well enough for me to just download and start building. It just did not work that well. So, and so they can't be treated as just a standalone build experience either. I'm just making sure I've got this one right. It wants me to put it in that way. I'm not quite sure what this is going to end up being. I think it's probably going to end up being the camera. It's not really a lot of options actually. It has to be the camera. It has to be the camera. Just kind of starting to lose track and focus a little, you know. End of a long day. And a long live build. And I should have put 1x1s on there. I don't know. What did you guys think of the new Mario sets? Opinions below. Tell us what you thought. Am I the only one who was left a little wanting for more? Went over, turned on the Switch and started playing Paper Mario. By the way, for the people who have played Paper Mario, this is a big thing for me. Man, Bobby! Bobby! Oh, I think we all cried in this house. Oh, in the feels. Straight, like ooh. Ooh. I don't know. Yeah, look, they again. If you are a big Mario fan and a big Lego fan, they are beautiful sets. Now, can you get more Lego bang for your buck? Absolutely. But what you do get is beautiful with them. No mistake. And I've got plans for them. I'm going to do a future live build. I've got to get my hands on Bowser's Castle first to make this work. But when I do get my hands on Bowser's Castle, there will be a live build where we take pretty much the bare bones of the Mario sets, break them down, and turn them into a pinball machine. That's my plan for the Mario sets. And that's something I think I'll be able to take to events and displays and make good use of all the new characters and figures that we got. Because I'd love to have seen them be minifigure scale. That's one of my personal gripes with it. But again, I'm not the target demographic. So, yeah. And my 8-year-old, for days. For days he was, you know, it was tricky, Bobby. Oh, yeah. We need a support group, right? Like, COVID life is hard enough. And poor Bobby. Yeah, I gotta start figuring out what's gonna be in my Christmas stocking. It's one of the perks of being an adult. I get to choose. You know, tell the missus what she's getting me. Tell her to tell me what I'm getting her. You know? I figure that works out better for everybody involved. It's more fun that way. Alright, we're almost done with this part of the set. Your camera is coming together here nicely. Oops. That should be a white part underneath. Yeah, the Bowser's Castle set I think is definitely one of the better ones in the range. And it certainly has, well, it's the one that's selling out everywhere. So, and I don't think that's any surprise. That one is a gorgeous set. Here we have the beginnings of the camera. We've got the book that does open, should be stickered. I'm not going to do that. I think I've already said a few times, but a gorgeous book, gorgeous. Does seal closed when you choose to seal it closed. Does need a little extra press there. Yeah, I don't know what more to say on that. Personally, I think it would have been nice to maybe cover that off. That would have been quite tricky though. You would have had to have made some interesting design choices to get that to work, given the very tight space in there. And yeah, and it's not as attractive as it could be opened up either, and that's the other part of the balance there. Like this side, seen as that, not too bad, but certainly open all the way in the rear. Things that can be done to change that though, of course. So here we are starting to work on the camera stand. Alright, an interesting first set of parts there, and connections. What are we? Got... Well, this will be a little loose. It's going to be interesting. Let's see how this goes. I'll make for angling easily, I guess. That's going to be the point. I'm looking for a grey part that should be in front of me. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The book, I don't know if the book is, strictly speaking, from something. Here are the photos, or pictures. Looks like maybe it's just meant to be Mickey and Minnie's photo album. Because there's a picture of him playing the banjo, them, and that's a beautiful little rendition of the Disney castle there in the background. Yeah. So, interesting choice that she's got the bonnet. They're definitely going for that much older school version. Because like I said earlier, if you were around, she hasn't worn the bonnet in since 1940 as her standard look. Which is a lot of years. She did used to have a lot more colour and variety to her clothing. I believe her look has pretty much gotten standardised now, and yeah, to be fair, that isn't the red and white dress. It's pink these days. Alrighty, and the legs for our camera stand here coming together. I love the old school camera look. Yeah, check that out. Yeah, beautiful. I'm just going to keep saying that as I build, I guess. It does look a little comic-y, but it fits the animation style, I think, the book there. Alright, there we go. We have our camera stand, leg number 1, and we'll need a few more of those. connected properly. And last one. And then we got a banjo after this. Yet to come. So I haven't got my hands on the Lego Entertainment set as yet. I very much like the look of it. I have seen it built already. I've had that opportunity. But hands-on, not yet. And yeah, it's a beautiful set. I don't know if it was as inspired as it could have possibly been. We have seen a lot of creators, mock creators, have done similar things already to the Mario set. It's not exactly a new or inspired mechanism inside there. It's very smooth and well running, don't get me wrong. But I do certainly feel like there is an onus on Lego to lift the bar. It's not enough to just repeat what others have done before them. They're meant to be the leader by the very virtue of being official sets. So to see something that can be released officially that I've already seen basically done as well from solo creators, yeah, there was a little bit of disappointment with that, to be honest. We could have seen more with it. Absolutely could have seen more with it. The little Easter eggs in the Nintendo itself are gorgeous, but the TV needs to be bigger. Turned around though, it looks very gorgeous. I mean, there are little details like the AV cords and colouring and coding to the back if you get hands-on with it, which are gorgeous. They are. But at the same time, you've got the cable to plug in the controller, but there's no cable from the Nintendo to the TV, which is one of those curious, interesting omissions for the set, that there isn't that second cable. And yeah, I knew that was going to happen if I built that way. And honestly, prior to the announcement of the NES system, that was one of those things I've had on my to-build list for a while. Mario was announced far in advance of the Nintendo system, and that was absolutely the first thing I thought of when I first saw the Mario sets. I'm like, well, you know what? At this scale, they're not minifigures. I want minifigures. That's okay. I can't have everything in life. How do I make lemonade out of this? I can turn it into a TV. I'll make a TV out of it. I'll build something larger with it. I'll get them to be moving around and doing something inside the TV. And then, of course, they announced the Nintendo. And so I'm not fully abandoning that idea. I am instead going to, like I said a little bit ago, I'm going to instead go with making a pinball machine using the parts. I'm kind of looking forward to that. That's going to be, yeah, going to be awesome. Going to be awesome. Alrighty. Here we go. We've got our one-string banjo. It's a curious choice to only have one. You know, it looks a little empty. I really do want to put the extra connections on and just to have more strings there. Wouldn't take much changing up here at all to make that happen. I'm keeping with the colour. Yeah, actually, yeah. Bracket back, inset a little bit. Headlight bricks would do it. I will then have enough opportunity to get 3 across. Keeping it flush is, yeah, not too tricky. That's easy enough done. That's the change I'm going to do for this. There will be more strings on my banjo. I don't know, maybe. Depends. And so yeah, there we have it. We have the camera, the book, and more leftover parts than I think I'm meant to have. I've forgotten something somewhere. Because I connected these a little off. these are meant to be held in place. That is why we had the brand new 1x3 with smooth underside. We first saw these as Unikitty necks. A great improvement for the Unikitty sets. The first series of Unikitties, the heads didn't stay on very well for the first release of the Lego Movie. I haven't actually seen the cartoon for Unikitty yet, though. Yeah. And that's not going to worry if I start to push down on it. That holds them in place beautifully. Great work on getting the math and angling work there, too. Yeah. So many gorgeous things to love in this set. So many. Alrighty. I still feel like I've got more leftover parts than I should. What did I do wrong? I feel like I did something wrong. Probably just a voice in my head, right? Just checking through quickly. I don't see where I could have put them. None on this one. It's like, were they with the flowers, maybe? Oh yeah, there was. There was meant to be one on the bottom of the flowers. And these. Too many of these. Way too many. Way too many. I should have used that somewhere. I should have used that somewhere. Or otherwise they shouldn't be here. I don't know. There's a speck somewhere on here, but this is looking quite nice. And just the right scale for them too. That's one of the, again, one of the challenges. Kudos to the creators. Oh, silly Billy me. Yes, I was meant to put it on the book cover. There we go. Doesn't answer where this piece or bit was meant to go, but that's okay. I guess I'll leave that out. Go with that. Dude, WM. Yeah, there's the delete tool for a reason. We'll be using it. Cool littles. Alright, so there we have it. There we have the build. We've got... Let's see if I can angle these well for the camera. There we go. We have Mickey. We have Minnie. We have their accessories. A few leftover little parts here. We have the banjo. We have the book. Yeah, beautiful set of accessories. I'll get to basically pick and choose what we put in our hands, or their hands. I think Mickey very definitely needs to be playing the banjo. Lining that up. I'll have to adjust the arms to make that work. But we'll find a way. So, maybe he should have had his arms more on. Let's change it right now. To make it possible. Alright, so that fits in pretty well there. No, it is a bit tight. His thumb doesn't want to wrap around. I feel like it should. Alright, I might make changes later to make that work. Yeah, definitely. Definitely going to shake that up. Shake up the connection point and make that work a little. Oops. Coming hard in my hands. These are beautifully, beautifully designed sets. Yeah, 2,000 parts there. Took us, actually, it did take us a little bit to build. Oh gosh, yeah, I'm just looking at the clock there. That has taken a while. Too much talking, not enough building, hey? But yes, Mickey and Minnie here, available now. I don't know. I feel like I should spruik a little bit. I mean, Lego did provide this, and I will do a proper review. Something that edits this down, because I definitely waffled a lot here. I am super impressed with this. These are finding a place somewhere on a shelf in my house, that, without a doubt, so many beautiful new parts in here. Makes me want to rush out and get another one just to break down the parts and use them. I hope the appearance of these little black minifigure helmets means that we will be seeing more coming soon. Black spacemen as minifigures coming soon. For all the neo-classic space fans out there, myself included. Yeah, and so many awesome things just happening to see it. We got those new 4x4 quarter round domes. We've gotten the new rounded slope parts that have been used here in the camera. I can't wait for us to start seeing those in abundance in other sets. Whole bunch of awesome new snot parts. Got to mention the new quarter turn Technic 2x2s. I don't know, there's probably an official name for it. Somebody will have set up an official name for it. We get 10 of these in the set. Yeah, the red barrels, I'm not sure. There were a lot of parts that I think are recoloured for this set. So, for instance, we get the red barrels. We get a smaller 2x2 round black barrel that is used as the neck part. There were a few others as well of parts that I think we're seeing for the first time. The new 4x4 round with lip that has just that perfect spacing for the little hat there. Yeah, invites so many more possibilities. I'm probably actually going to shake that up on her head. I reckon she needs a bow. Personally, I want to see the bow there. I might also shake up the dress she's got here, just by recolouring a few parts to make it look like the front of a dress. Maybe not too much, I don't know, might leave it as is. There is a very definite old school 30s Mickey and Minnie that you only really see in kind of ancient kind of... Ancient? Is ancient the right word? Styling for it? The one thing I would probably change is the colouring that I'm a little concerned will still be visible when it is sitting on a shelf. The colouring there at the base. There's a lot of bright colours used underneath. I love how they look like little film frames that they're setting apart there. That is, and again, yeah, new colour there I think for these trans pieces. There's a liquidy rainbow effect to them that I'm loving. Not sure what else to say. Not sure what else to say about these beautiful little sets. Oh, we get these big quarter dishes. Again, I'm not sure we've had a dish in quite that size before. That opens up a lot of new possibilities there for connecting it in different ways. Yeah, they're gorgeous, gorgeous. I'm loving these. Awesome. So, Mickey and Minnie here. Definitely finding a place on my shelf. I'm going to have to kind of tweak and change how they can hold things in their hands. The thumb can be moved a little, but bringing it around and back in, specifically for the banjo here, just getting it to fit right and still look like it's coming forward. That's going to be the challenge there, and angling it, and maybe bringing the arm around so it looks like he's actually playing. Might make him a proper guitar. I don't know. Guitar could be in order for him. The book, camera, yeah. Mickey and Minnie. Thanks for joining me, guys. We've had quite a lot of people drop in and out, so for those who are still here, or those who are, I guess this will be available to watch later. It's very long. I don't know. This is one of the things, I don't know, with live builds. How do I make it a little bit more dynamic and exciting? I mean, we're in COVID lockdown at the moment. I'd love to have a guest and somebody alongside me building and chatting, and then that'll probably mean that we do even less building. I don't know. You guys did come here for the building, I'm assuming. But, you know, leave your comments below. Let us know what you think. I'm open up to all suggestions. Maybe not the less constructive ones like WM there, but hey, I'm glad the show moved you. Yeah. Happy for you. Yeah, thanks for joining, guys. Gonna wrap it up there. I will see you again next week. I'm not quite sure what we'll do. It'll probably be a one of the city sets. I don't know. I've got something special. I'm hoping I can maybe do, but I'm not sure I should say that yet because it hasn't arrived in the mail yet. Yeah, yeah. I'm going to stop waffling because I do feel like I'm waffling. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining me. See you, Grey Fox. I'm not quite sure who else is still left there. Yeah. Thank you, guys. I will see you again soon. Cheers.